I love it.
All right.
Well, welcome
Hi.
everybody. Apologies for that intro video. We're still working and learning our new setup here. We semi-upgraded, if you haven't noticed. We now have a white tablecloth.
Yes.
I mean,
That's why it took longer.
yes.
Just this tablecloth.
This isn't white, by the way. This is a ocean shell white.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
Michael used to have white walls,
Yes.
and I changed it to cream shell white.
All right. So.
Fun fact, they're the same.
Oh, man.
Anyway, everyone, welcome to LuZoCast number 12. I am Ravi Ramgopal. This is Sarah Ramgopal, Krishna Ramgopal, and Arjuna Ramgopal.
We're the Ramgo Pals.
Whoa.
Yeah. Why don't we just call this Ramgopal's cast?
No.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to hear the
doesn't flow very
Nobody
well.
wants
I'm
to
not gonna
really
lie.
hear the Ramgo Pals speak. If we put it out there like that, they don't want
This
to
is
hear
true.
us.
This
Welcome
is very
to
true.
the Ramgo Pal Show. Yeah.
We couldn't have we should start a theme song.
Oh, we should.
Oh.
Like a rap or something.
Anyway,
Oh, maybe
let's
not.
just move on real quick. So today, obviously, the big news this week being San Diego Comic-Con,
Yes.
or Comic-Con 2016, or SDCC 2016, or
cool stuff.
SDCC or big old nerd fun.
or the Comic-Con the Comic-Con where Warner Brothers did something different and basically won Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Go Warner Brothers.
So I guess real quick I'll talk about what I'm explaining here. Warner Brothers decided this year, instead of waiting till a week, couple days after Comic-Con was done, after they would show and have their big presentations in Hall H, which is the bigger hall, the one that traditionally they show like all the really cool premieres and so forth, they released their videos on their official YouTube and other sites. Basically, the idea was, tackle on privacy, essentially. Tackle on and stop people from uploading and having to put all that resources and funding into stopping people. They just hit it on head on straight first, and there we go.
Well done.
I think that's awesome. There's some studios, I think, that could learn from that behavior.
It was a bit tough to find trailers for other certain films that were not Warner Brothers or for shows that were not CW. Yeah.
Warner Brothers definitely won. They needed it, too.
That was great.
They needed a little
Immediately,
win.
all you had to do
Yeah.
was search YouTube for
everything.
whatever.
And for all of the
Official
people out
trailer.
there that would respond, and we do welcome the comments, so please hit us up at Loser Productions on Twitter and so forth. But for the people that would say, well, there are those people that made the pilgrimage, if you will, to Comic-Con. They deserve to see this before we do. Yes, I agree with you. There should definitely be a little bit of extra for those people that took the time to go there, wait in line, and so forth. But at the same time, in this day and age where information is traveling so fast and there is so much going on, I think as a studio, I would want my information to go out there. I would want more publicity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to keep it so closed off.
YouTube
so.
is great advertising. I mean, just, get your stuff out there. I mean, we live in that age now where it's so instantaneous. Just do it.
But yeah, I think the
Studios.
biggest difference was the studio that put out its stuff you could watch. The studio that did not, you had to read descriptions
You could not.
about the trailer.
Yeah, you have to read
Or
descriptions.
you could find crappy video that people have shot from the audience that got thrown out there, which...
By the way, how is it the
is
video
awful.
is still garbage? It looks like it was shot with a VHS recorder. I mean, we live in the age of the iPhone 6S with a 4K
And it was still
camera,
bad.
and it's still bad.
Yeah,
I mean, are they
well,
live streaming? That's
and
the question. Are they
wait,
live
are they
streaming?
Well, they
using
pull
it?
these
Or-
things down quickly, no?
True, but
And
why is their quality so bad?
That's a great question.
Are we
That's the
talking
real
about the
question.
quality from people in the audience? Or?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but
the
think about
pirated
that.
quality.
It's
Yeah.
dark. Wait, but you've been to cons. It's
Right.
dark in those big halls.
Right, but the video screen itself is very bright.
It is, but maybe they're using a lesser quality phone to film on.
Right, they're using a mini
An
DV
iPhone 4?
camcorder from 2006, because that makes sense.
Hey, that's our childhood
I'm
camera.
just saying. I'm just
I was
saying.
born in 2006.
But yeah, no, it's
You matured quickly.
shouldn't be grainy.
Anyway, let's move on. So, Comic-Con 2016.
Comic-Con.
What was shown at Comic-Con?
So much.
There was a lot. I will go over it really quick. Stuff. There we go. That was great.
Wow, it's going to be a quick one today.
There's a lot, so let's just jump right into it. We're going to start with...
There's so much.
You can take a
So much
You can
on
take
this
a pick.
list.
I love it.
Let's just start from the very top. Marvel.
All right,
The
we can
big
start
one.
with Marvel.
The
It was-
big one. And what we're going to do, I think, which will be kind of fun, is we're going to try and just give quick hits and quick thoughts and everything.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's start with the big one was Thor 3 Ragnarok. Whose phone
Sorry,
is that?
that's me.
Just so you know, like movie theaters, we enjoy it if the phones are turned off.
It's all about the
Anyway,
atmosphere.
Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok, Arjuna, go.
Well, I mean, they didn't show. I didn't see the footage.
That's so
And they didn't actually have any footage. Apparently, they did like a fake mockumentary with
Oh.
Chris Hemsworth that they showed, which was apparently fun. I know they show, or some of the armor that would be the Hulks
Right.
was shown, kind of giving the credence to Planet Hulk. Does Thor run into Hulk? You know, with the Planet Hulk, they have to battle and whatnot. So that's kind of cool.
Speaking of Planet Hulk, has anyone here watched the Planet Hulk TV show on Disney XD?
No.
It is actually quite interesting.
Really?
It is. It's quite fun to watch.
Did you see Hulk armor in there?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
he wears
it
the
was-
armor.
I thought you were gonna say it was actually quite horrible.
No, it's actually not. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh man, but
So yeah,
Yes.
what's your feeling on it?
that's my feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quinny.
The only notes I have from Thor 3 is that he's getting some armor, and that sounds really cool. Actually, I read it really quick though. So basically, is there some kind of like controller who's gonna make him fight Thor in like a gladiator type of thing?
It's speculated that's Jeff Goldblum's character.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's
Jeff
going to be
Goldblum?
a controller.
So
who-
Jeff
master.
Goldblum's character is supposed to allegedly be the brother to the Collector.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Oh,
Right.
I'm sorry. I need to stop interrupting. But but in all
So
seriousness,
excited.
this is why I think Disney does a really good job, or more specifically, Marvel does a really good job of just throwing information out there. The Marvel Disney XD shows, Spider-Man. There is a story arc, a 5-part episode where the Collector and his brother actually compete each
right.
other on the Earth, which is really cool. So.
Oh,
Like in a little
whoa.
game, almost like a game of chess, where
Chess,
they'll
yeah.
they'll throw the
game of-
superheroes down against each other, against the supervillain, against villains and things like that.
A Game of Thrones?
No.
No, because
It's really not.
Not
There are
really,
no there are
no,
no
Lannisters
thrones.
and
No
stuff.
crowns, no
So-
thrones,
sorry.
no kingdoms.
Fine, whatever.
Nice try though.
Sarah, Thor 3.
I don't think it needs to be said again.
Okay,
We
let's-
have nothing because
we've
nothing
covered
was
it.
really put out there.
Marvel?
And maybe there will be stuff put out at some point. Just that one we didn't get. We didn't
A
get.
whole lot of information. But
So,
I mean, those are the big
Sure.
hits.
Sure. So jumping on, let's go on to Black Panther then. Sarah?
I would rather talk about the whatever you're probably about to talk about next, which I'm gonna guess is Doctor Strange. So Krishna,
Christian Black Panther.
Black Panther looks really cool. I love that they're casting Michael B. Jordan as. Is it
Well, no.
confirmed he's the bad guy?
He's the villain.
Wait,
Eric
okay.
Killmonger. Eric Killmonger.
Yes.
So real quick thoughts on it, because I don't really know anything about Eric, but I did a quick Google search. He's gonna have to get a lot bigger for that role, I think, which he proved he can do. Because Ryan Coogler and him did the
Creed
whole
team.
the Creed movie.
Well, and Fruitvale Station. So
Right.
both of Coogler's movies have been.
Oh, I was talking about a supplement, creatine.
Creatine. I
That
thought-
would bulk
I
him
thought,
up.
I thought you said Creed,
No.
which
I
is
thought you
the
said
the Rocky movie
No.
that they worked on together. But that
Gotcha.
works out well.
No.
So that's really cool. Honestly, other than that, I really don't know too much else what's going on with that.
Sure. So I think the thing that's really cool is they announced like the full cast, and it's quite the cast. You have Chadwick Boseman, obviously, who is Black Panther.
The man.
Michael B. Jordan. You have Lupita Nyong'o, who's playing a part of the elite guard, but she was cast aside. You have the actress who I never know how to say her name, but the actress who plays
Okay.
Michonne.
Yep. Yeah, I was waiting for someone to bring that
Who
up.
play the head
Ooh, Michonne.
of
Yes.
play the head of his elite guard.
Who, by the way, in the comics, and I'm pretty sure, nobody quote me on this, pretty sure she has a sword.
Oh yes.
Pretty sure she has a
so
sword.
good with it.
Does she have dreads?
I don't know.
Does she behead people as a signature finishing move?
Does she have 2 zombies
No, okay, no.
on her side?
No.
So I think the cast is really impressive. They
Yeah.
start filming in
That
January.
is a very impressive
Okay.
cast.
That'd be
I just want to say Lupita Nyong'o
Oh, that's a good
Sure.
name. Okay.
as Lupita, and then
Sorry,
Michonne
Lupita.
is Denai Guerrera.
right.
Okay.
I always thought
always said
we
like-
had really tough sounding names.
We don't. We really don't.
Our names are very
They're
easy.
very. Ours are very.
Artuna, Quinny.
Well, at least that's the way we say them. Who knows if it's correct?
Ravindra.
Krishna.
Karishna. Oh, I hate those. people.
Okay, moving on. Sarah, you said you had something to say about Khan. Khan's
Yes,
Khan's
Khan the Strange.
Khan coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I am very excited. I really liked the trailer. Because, that was a trailer we actually could see. But I do have a question. How long, because that one, how long between the panel and when they released that full trailer? Do we know?
It was pretty
Good
quick.
question.
It was
Was it?
actually. Yeah.
Marvel. So the Marvel Entertainment YouTube page released that trailer. I want to say right as that panel ended. But that was the only one they released because it's a full trailer. I think the Spider-Man one was a teaser because they're still filming it.
Right.
The Thor was just they didn't have anything to show. They had that little mockumentary thing. Black Panther, there was no footage. Guardians, I think they're still filming, so that was also a teaser. So I think Marvel's reasoning was Doctor Strange is the only thing that's in the can, essentially.
Makes sense,
So
I
that's
guess.
the only full trailer they released.
Or-
online.
Fair enough.
Or there's a little thing Disney has called D23.
Well, probably that as well. They're gonna have to
Yeah.
Well,
probably
now,
show
what
more.
comes out before D23, though?
Doctor
D23
Strange.
is next summer. Doctor Strange comes out, so
Right.
does...
Nothing else. Thor doesn't come out till the end of next year.
Guardians comes out in May.
There you go.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And
What
I
is
believe-
D23?
D23
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I
that's
represent-
good for the audience.
I represent
So-
all my fellow,
no.
people.
D23 itself is actually a fan club, the Disney fan club.
Okay.
And then the D23 Expo is actually what we were talking about, and it's a convention that is Disney.
Okay, cool.
It's Disney's convention
Oh,
for
nice.
Disney, Marvel, for Disney's subsidiaries.
All that
Yeah,
cool stuff.
it's
So
Disney.
Star Wars, Marvel, all that good stuff.
Anything owned
That's
by
amazing.
Disney.
It's
Okay,
pronounced
very nice.
Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel.
Actually, Marvel is a Kree warrior
Yep.
that accidentally gives Miss Marvel her powers.
Speaking of Miss Marvel.
Wait.
Transition. I'm very good at this.
Speaking of Miss Marvel, they announced who would play Miss Marvel.
Right.
That was the big thing, I guess.
Who's
with Marvel.
Brie Larson?
Brie Larson. She's been in some comedies. She was in a movie that was nominated for an Oscar. I believe it was called The Room.
Oh, yeah.
last-
Wait,
year.
what are some of the comedies she's in? Because she's actually
She was
pretty
in
funny.
the movie Trainwreck as Amy Schumer's sister.
Right.
She was in 21 Jump Street as the love interest.
That's right, of Jonah
Hill's character.
Yeah.
She's actually in Skull Island. Kong. She'll be in that movie.
Oh, the new King Kong.
Yeah, the new King Kong movie.
Who looks enormous, by the way. But
So.
it's tiny.
That
Yep, nope, not there yet. We'll go to it. We'll get to it.
Sorry, that's why I came off of it. I'm sorry, Master.
what?
Oh, you're-
Anyway, so
Okay, wait, Doctor Strange, though. Back to Doctor
Wow.
Strange.
I just wanted to.
Bit of a departure there. Yeah, looks awesome. Yes. I'm very
Basically, it's
excited.
Inception meets Marvel,
Well,
or Marvel
it's-
meets
but-
Inception.
but it
Looks
is
amazing, though.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It's somewhere between Inception and The Matrix. As like some of the shots, I was like, that is going to be awesome on the big screen. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think we should all take a step back here real quick. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor, right?
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, he's really good. But then he starred in this movie called Star Trek Into Darkness. And that was just terrible.
You can't blame the movie on him, though.
No.
I'm not blaming the movie on him,
Yeah.
but my fear is
The movies.
the movie, these big blockbusters are going to like, Mr. Cumberbatch, you're an amazing actor. We're going to just base everything on the fact that your acting will save the movie.
No. Because they didn't base anything on that in Star Trek. It sucked.
The
They didn't try and
It was-
they
yeah,
didn't give
it
him
was-
enough of a chance to save the movie in
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Well, and
Because
so I
just-
don't think that's the case.
I think the biggest problem with Star Trek Beyond, or not Beyond,
Into
sorry,
Darkness.
Into Darkness.
Oh,
So the biggest problem with Star Trek Into Darkness was they tried to remake Wrath of Khan, which they did not make the mistake of in 1 and 3. They didn't try to remake any specific story.
Sorry. Yes, Mr. JJ.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just trying to maybe communicate with him that
I wish we had
Star
a slow
Trek
zoom
Into
through
Darkness
giant
was
space.
garbage. Anyway,
He's directed a lot of sequels.
yeah.
He's like the sequel king.
I will say this.
Seriously.
I thought Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan was. I enjoyed it.
That was
I
the best
thought
part
The
of
movie
movie.
sucked,
The best
but
part of the
Benedict Cumberbatch was
Yeah,
great.
he was actually really intense. And I was like, whoa, this guy plays
He's
a great
right,
he's
villain.
script.
intense, right? But just everything else brought the whole
Yeah,
thing
that's
down.
not his fault.
It's not on him.
We're tangenting. Is that a word?
Yeah.
That's
now.
our thing.
It is
That's our
now.
shtick.
That's our
Yeah,
shtick.
I don't
Tangenting?
think anyway.
Oh, man.
Wow,
We have a
you're
lot to get
shitty
through.
here.
Christian, Doctor Strange trailer. You watched it literally at this point an
Couple
hour and a
hours
half
ago.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
but what did you think?
It looked really cool. I like that they showed him in full costume,
Yes.
like running down the street. And for some reason, it didn't look goofy. I mean, in this day and age of making everything like modern, for instance, like Christian Bale's Batman and stuff like that, like making everything
Oh,
sort
you,
of like.
you mean the Justice League costumes? Anyway, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
Oh, those are kind of badass too. But all right.
So
Anyway.
he's running down the street with a cape, and I think at one point he sort of like swivels his cape onto his shoulders, and he uses some kind of magic to do it, and
No.
the whole thing looked kind of cool.
It's magic, Christian.
Yeah, uses some kind of magic.
No, it's magic.
It is
So
magic.
I actually heard
It
that
is magic.
this is a sequel to Inception.
Oh,
It's all-
wait, Christopher Nolan's directing?
I have a question though. So we all remember the amazing film that was Captain America.
Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier.
Civil War?
Huh?
So you're talking about two.
Number 2, yeah, Winter
Yeah.
Soldier.
Great movie.
They mention at one point the Hydra agents that are embedded within S.H.I.E.L.D. Doctor Strange. That they knew of
Stephen
him.
Strange.
Stephen Strange.
They didn't call him Doctor, they called him Stephen Strange.
Gotcha. So is the question? So I guess my question is, are we thinking that this film, the parts that we're seeing where he's training with what's her name,
Tilda Swinton?
are those parts in the
I don't know
past,
the character.
present, or because it's Doctor Strange in reality?
It's wibbly wobbly.
So I'm
That would
going
be
to
great.
I'm going to guess my estimate. So every Marvel movie, essentially, besides Captain America: The First Avenger,
Right.
has been
Pushing it forward.
following a linear path.
Right.
Right.
This, I would be really surprised if this is not. This has to have gone back at some point.
Somehow.
And I also assumed that from the very first trailer because I felt like this movie is showing him become Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we get to the end of where he is Doctor Strange. So I still think perhaps a lot of this movie takes place in two timelines: his origin and him actually being Doctor Strange. I'm not fully convinced it's a full-blown origin story.
So
That's just my guess.
So you think maybe it starts out in present, and then somehow something kicks back, and we watch him
Yeah.
become Doctor Strange, and then it comes back to present.
And the
ends.
reason I say that is because if you guys remember back to the first trailer, the way they did it was they had a lot of imagery that was similar but jumping through different time periods. Looking at his hands when he's a surgeon, the very past. Looking at his hands in the accident. Looking at his hands becoming when he's like getting them healed as Doctor Strange.
Right, when he's-
So I think
yeah.
there's going to be a lot of time jumping within this movie. I think it's actually going to be quote unquote a more difficult movie to watch or follow for your average.
Great.
If you are
I
not,
need that.
Yeah,
if you
if you're
are
not
not a
paying
fan.
attention.
Marvel
Yeah.
Or if you're not paying it, like so there are those
Good.
movies where I don't have to pay attention for 2/3 of the movie,
Right.
but I can still figure out what's going on.
So what you're saying is Marvel's doing something different.
Which is great.
Something strange.
Nope.
Huh?
Different.
All right. All right.
Winning today.
Final
So,
question. Final.
anyway.
Final quick question on.
Strange.
No, on Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh.
This
that's strange.
conversation was more about him, not Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so Benedict Cumberbatch has hit the Star Trek universe. He's now in the Marvel universe. Disney likes to recycle
Idris
their
Elba.
actors. How long do you think it will be before we
Cycle.
see Benedict Cumberbatch in the Star Wars franchise?
Oh,
Well,
He has to play a Sith. That's
The
the
rumor-
only
I don't know.
requirement.
I'd be really happy with him being some kind of like badass Jedi.
do you guys remember the
Yeah.
the rumor though
Let's see.
before when episode
Okay
7
with
was being cast was he was the guy they were seeking and he turned it down.
Oh.
That was the big
Oh,
rumor.
as Snoke, right?
Or I don't know if
Or
it was
Snoke
as
S.
Snoke or somebody or Kylo Ren. That was what we don't know.
Nice.
He should play a
No.
hut.
Not-
with his accent and stuff?
Not all huts look
But
like
I
Jabba.
mean, if
That's a
Star
good
Wars,
point. Good
if
point.
there's going to be a Star Wars movie for every single year until the end of time, I mean, literally every actor is going to touch the franchise. Every big actor will touch that franchise.
Maybe.
At some point.
Maybe
so,
not.
so
At some point.
here's another question. Me
Jackman.
being in my own head a big actor, when's my time?
So it's going to be Star Wars
27
Episode 37.
So you're
where
gonna
it
have
becomes
to.
the Saw franchise, and the background character from Episode 8 is the main star.
So you're gonna have to
Sounds
make
good.
it out of your own head with your stardom first.
Yeah.
Nah,
And then we'll go
sounds
from there.
like too much work.
Okay.
We've only hit on 3 out of like a billion topics.
okay.
Let's
It's
keep
gonna be
moving
a bunch
on.
of stuff.
Guardians?
Homecoming.
Oh, Homecoming.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Spider pants.
So I'm gonna say real
Spidey
quick, real quick.
Spider-Man.
Unfortunately, I had to
Let go.
read a description, and I was so angry that I had to read the description because that would have been a great teaser, trailer, whatever that they
could've
showed
done- yeah.
to see.
Well, to
teaser
be
would have
fair,
been lovely to actually see.
to defend the studios, they will eventually release this
Yeah.
stuff. Or, well, let me rephrase. They will eventually release it once enough people start pirating it,
putting up crappy
and
versions that
putting
they
up crappy
recorded at
versions and so
Comic-Con.
forth.
Well, so they just started filming Spider-Man in June. So
Yes.
they're just about a month into production.
But last year at Celebration,
Oh, Celebration.
we saw a teaser for Rogue One. It gave us almost nothing, but it was so freaking awesome.
But
And then they put it out.
I remember the
Oh,
text.
okay.
And
you
that's the
sent.
thing.
Yeah.
They put it out.
Yeah, I said
probably
my
that
heart
day. They
just
published,
jumped and skipped
you
a
know,
beat.
And you
it
said-
was
you
really
said it's
freaking
gonna be like
cool.
But I
so
also-
something even like that.
But
just
I also
barely
think
there.
Marvel and Disney. Well, so I think the Marvel movies are in a different spot than when the Star Wars movies were for them, because Rogue One is the first Star Wars spin-off movie. They have to get people excited. This is the first non-episodic
It's true.
Star Wars. This is going to be something really different. No Jedi, no opening text crawl. You know what
I'm
I mean?
sorry. Well, I'm
Just
sorry.
very-
Real quick.
No text.
There's no Star Wars on here.
We did spend all of it. We did spend all
This
of the
is a-
last episode
no Star
talking
Wars.
about Star Wars.
Well, let me get to the
So-
point though.
Yeah.
So because of that, they have to try and build excitement, and I think that teaser certainly did. Like, this is Star Wars, but something a little different. Spider-Man. I mean, we've had
Spider-Man.
5 Spider-Man movies in
But-
15 years.
But how many of those
So-
movies were actually good?
Half.
2.
Wait, which two?
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Oh, 2 was good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
2
right.
was
And then
really
I would
good.
say there were maybe one additional that was passable. The first of the Andrew Garfield was passable.
Amazing.
I kind
Passable.
of
yeah,
enjoyed
the amazing.
it, yeah.
That one was passable.
But I
That's
think
like
with
the first
I
half.
think with Spider-Man, you've already seen the character, Civil War. There's no need to rush footage into a teaser for a property that people are already excited for. Just wait until you have a Why they're probably going to release a trailer with Doctor Strange in November.
Well, my point is though
December.
is that they showed this thing, and I
No.
had to read a description, and the description was great, but I didn't get to see this thing. If you're gonna release something, just release it to everyone. But whatever.
Hey, Marvel. Christian is very upset right
Marvel.
now.
I'm
Marvel.
right. Marvel.
Marvel, fix it.
A little
But
angry.
I will say
He's
from
actually pretty calm.
what we
it's true.
got from the description, Vulture is going to be the villain.
Which is... ugh.
Well,
Yeah,
Whatever.
It's interesting.
That may
to
be
me.
all they've released at this point too.
Yeah.
That is going to be a villain. It doesn't mean it's
Right,
the
so-
villain.
The quote-unquote rumors are there'll be multiple villains, which I think is a big
Makes
mistake for
sense.
Spider-Man, because every Spider-Man movie that has pretty much gone on since Spider-Man 3 has had multiple
villains, yeah.
and it's felt convoluted. But what's interesting about the choice of Vulture was when Spider-Man 4 was in development with Tobey Maguire, it was supposed to be Vulture, played by John Malkovich, and Anne Hathaway playing a new villain called the Vultress. So
I don't like any of that.
Well, I'm guessing that
Is it
Sony...
Malkovich though?
So even though
Yeah,
Marvel
it's-
is really driving the creative process, Sony, I feel, has had some type of input onto what this movie is going to be about, obviously, because it is a Sony, Disney...
Right, and
Marvel.
isn't there a rumor circulating that Michael Keaton might be playing the Vulture?
So Michael Keaton will be in the movie, apparently. And it's highly speculated he will be the Vulture.
Birdman 2.
But because
Seriously, that's what it's gonna be.
because we haven't seen any footage personally, it's hard to be
All right,
fair.
it's pretty early on to see. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
Sure.
but the thing,
A month,
yeah, to see footage.
Right.
But a teaser would have been nice.
yes.
The
So-
Rogue One teaser was literally a piece of artwork and the sound of like TIE fighters.
The Sound of Music.
See, the thing is,
Ah, no.
there is a teaser. We just can't see it.
Yeah.
Like that's what's annoying. There is one.
That's what's
There is, and I can't watch
Okay.
it. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
So the last Marvel thing in terms of the cinematic universe, because Marvel refuses to consider Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix TV shows as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a cinematic
Did we
way.
already touch on Captain Marvel?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
It's being
well,
played by Brie Larson.
I'm
Woohoo.
excited about Captain
Anyway.
Marvel. Hey! Girl power!
Great, but like,
Anyway,
no
go
offense,
ahead.
Captain Marvel, her story individually is super boring.
Is it?
It is only really interesting in the comics until it's involved with Civil War. Civil War 2, by the way, in the comics, amazing, because she's heading up the team that's saying, hey, we shouldn't use... Okay, I'm tangenting. Anyway,
yes.
go ahead.
They said the same thing about Guardians, and that was a mega hit.
That's fine. I will wait until 2018 to figure that out.
It's a long
Fair
time.
enough.
That is a long time.
That's
I
only
want that
2
to be
years away.
sooner.
That's not that
Guys,
It feels that long.
We'll be at,
It is
like
long.
episode 150.
long. Christian will be 30.
You so
Oh
old.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You so old.
Hopefully by then we'll be doing our shows in full virtual reality.
Ooh.
3D!
Holograms. We'll just be holograms.
Oh,
360,
as
we can
also
just-
on a quick thing, just want to throw this out there if anyone's watching. Let us know if you think a LuZoCast in a 360-degree controlled camera is something you would be interested in.
And if it was, what kind of things you would like to see? Like what interactive environments and whatnot?
Also, blink twice.
I didn't see anyone blink, so no one's watching.
Aww. It's okay.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy Dose. So the big things to take away from there, and I'll just go over this real quick. Kurt Russell has been confirmed to be Star-Lord's father.
Whoa.
The interesting thing, though, is he's also playing a character known as Ego. Ego, in the comics, specifically Guardians of the Galaxy, is a planet.
Huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So that's interesting. And also, Sylvester Stallone has been
Wait,
confirmed.
Sylvester Stallone is... Oh, I missed
Supposedly
that.
going to be in the film. And then the big...
Wow.
What?
The other big thing that's
They
more...
won't even have to put makeup on his face to make him look like an alien.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's right
sorry. I had to. I couldn't.
It's got that nose thing going, yeah.
And then the other big thing, Disneyland, California will be
California
getting
Adventure.
will be converting what is it called? Tower of Terror in California.
Twilight Zone, Hollywood Tower of Terror.
They'll be putting it and changing it into a Guardians of the Galaxy. But anyway, let's start from the top there. What?
Nothing.
Oh.
Hang on.
I was just
can't-
trying to tell you to move over a little bit.
I've been trying to tell him that the whole time.
I don't want to.
Oh
There
my.
you go.
Oh.
Now you're perfect. Anyway, sorry.
There you go. Scooch closer to me.
Look how loving they are.
Oh.
Anyway, let's start with Mr. Kurt Russell, or as I like to call him, Colonel Jack O'Neill.
Yeah, yeah.
The original.
Just one L, though.
The
Because
original.
Richard Dean Anderson has 2 L's.
There you go.
2 L's.
Wait, what?
Oh, like, it was one of the greatest things. So
In Stargate SG-1, the TV show.
he would say there's 2 L's. Think about it.
Yeah, of course. I get it. I get
It's
it.
beautiful.
Special.
Read between the lines. Read between the lines.
Anyway, we've flicked off
All
our
right.
audience enough. Let's start with Sarah. Kurt Russell as Ego, the planet.
Okay, so I'm very confused. I will just have to wait and see. I mean, how... I don't... Is he still supposed to be a planet embodied in a man?
Well, so one of the things
Like,
I don't know. I don't know a
I think
whole
that's
lot
a
about
lot to
Ego.
swallow.
But the person in the comics, Ego, is also part man, part planet.
Okay, see,
not totally
that-
understanding though how the whole part planet, part not planet thing works.
Little parts.
Well,
So-
hold on. Who's the planet devourer?
That would be Galactus.
Yeah. So, if Galactus can devour planets, technically a person could be half man, half planet. That's not stretching it too far. I'm just saying. That said, it's still so confusing. So they may not. He may just be a person and not half man, half planet or anything like that.
No, he's
I feel
he's
like
definitely a planet.
in the movie,
In the movie, he's the planet.
does it say it?
Yes.
Where does it say he's a planet?
Hold on, let me pull up the article.
Because it's going to get really confusing really quickly for people who don't pay as much attention, who are
Yeah.
not big old
Confirmed
huge
as
nerds.
Ego, the living planet. So it's a
Okay,
living
so
planet.
but they're saying confirmed as Ego. They're saying this because they know that the character of Ego is half man, half planet. in the movie it might be changed so that it's just a man and it doesn't encompass the planet part. I'm just saying they may not do that. They might. It might be really cool, but I don't know.
The comic kind of explains it. So the planet wants to experience being a humanoid, and he creates Kurt Russell.
So I'm gonna creates. So
Creates
it's not
a
like
Hollywood
he stops
actor.
being a planet. He creates. There's some. Anyway, I really like Kurt Russell. I'm quite excited to see him on Guardians.
Yeah.
And it's so good to finally see Star-Lord's father. And like there's just it's gonna be good stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell?
I love the the casting. Kind of like Sarah just said. It's great. I mean, honestly, I know nothing about Ego the planet, but I do like the idea of playing with sentient life and scale, because that's kind of science right now and the scale of the universe and stuff. I think that's a really cool angle you can go with sci-fi. Like, how big is consciousness? Well, it's probably infinite, right? So play with that a little bit. It's kind of cool.
Well, and Guardians is quirky, so I think they're continuing the quirkiness by having Star-Lord's dad be a planet.
Well, I mean, the trailer, there's some...
Oh, yeah, I love the trailer.
Not that in a cell phone.
The trailer? Well,
Sorry.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume 2, what a great trailer. I loved all the text.
In the description of reading on the
I didn't see a Guardians trailer
No.
because there is none, is there?
Oh, it's there.
It's
You
not
just
open.
didn't get to
I
see it.
can't
To
see
the
it.
public. Marvel, we
Marvel.
love you, but just post your trailers.
Just put them out there. All the hype is right now.
The hype is
You're
real.
missing out on that train.
No, so I think it's cool with, like you guys have said, but another character I'm really excited for is Mantis, who is the official new member of the Guardians. They've kind of revealed a little bit about her character, but she will be accompanying.
Is she brand new to the cinematic universe?
Yeah, this will be her first appearance in the MCU.
But is she in the comics? Mantis?
Yes, Mantis, and she will be with Russell Crowe's character.
Russell Crowe?
No, so Kurt Russell.
I was like, wow, Russell Crowe's in this too?
That'd be
Crowe.
sick.
Wow.
Is
So-
Superman's dad.
So she lives in
Oh, that's
Ego.
right! I forgot that! Yeah, he's Jor-El.
He is Jor-El.
So I don't know if she lives on the planet Ego, and then
And then
Ego
just,
makes the Kurt Russell.
Dude.
But then must Ego have made Kurt Russell before to get Star-Lord?
So
born?
really interesting play on words. She has a big ego in her corner. I'm just saying,
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
And then they also confirmed
We're
that
just full of the jokes today, kids.
they also confirmed, or they've kind of hinted at, that both Yondu and Nebula will be in some capacity working with the Guardians.
Which I really like.
Which is
I
interesting.
do.
Which is interesting because the way they left off Yondu's character in the first one,
He was gonna kill Quinn.
well, he kind of laughed at
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
thing. So it'll be interesting to see that. And I'm sure they're gonna play in the dynamic of Star-Lord finding his dad, but Yondu's kind of been his father figure, raising him.
Right.
And then it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between Nebula and Gamora, and if
Amy Pond.
right, because Nebula was still kind of bad, but then she left Ronan
Yeah.
and all that, and just left because she was done with it.
Yeah, I didn't get an impression she's like a rogue.
Yeah,
She's not really
She
evil.
seems like a middle ground type of character, which all these characters are. They're not really
Like a
good.
neutral chaotic.
They're all anti-heroes essentially. So it'll be interesting to see all that. I'm really excited for Guardians because I've seen that movie 7 times in theaters.
That is okay. Wow,
Absurd.
you gave them so much money. Let's move on to the TV shows. Wow,
Nice.
wait, back up a second. What?
No, TV shows.
Oh goodness, more Marvel
Okay,
TV
let's
shows.
touch on them lightly, because there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah. Actually, we could probably wrap these up real quick in a couple of really big
Yeah,
points.
it's called the
Basically,
Defenders.
It's called the Defenders.
And basically,
Exactly.
we haven't seen anything.
No, we did.
We saw trailers.
We
Yeah,
saw trailers.
like teasers. We know Styx seems going to be a big part of the Defenders.
Yeah, we saw some colorful
The
logos.
Defenders teaser was cool though.
It
As
was
much
pretty
as we
cool
saw for
because
Agents of
Stick,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Stick
Really cool.
was
I love that song
yeah.
by Nirvana, Come As You Are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't sing it. You ruined it. I love that song.
So we also have Luke Cage. Luke Cage was probably the biggest trailer.
It was a real
We
trailer.
actually see him go up against how do I put this politically?
A gang?
We see him go up against a gang. Yeah.
So it takes place in Harlem, in New York. We're going out of Hell's Kitchen for the first time in these Netflix shows because both both Daredevil seasons 1 and 2 and Jessica Jones were in the Hell's Kitchen part of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Cage is going back to the Harlem area. So we're going to see a little bit more of New York, a little bit a different area, some different characters and everything. So he's left, and the series takes place after Jessica Jones. It's not like a prequel.
Right. Because remember at the end of Jessica Jones, he was like,
the bar's
peace.
gone.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because we saw a lot of the character in Jessica Jones. I think more of it people anticipated seeing him. So he's already had quite a bit of development.
But it's the same,
we
it's the
already
same
know
as
about him now.
Daredevil
They
and
don't have
Punisher. In the sense that we see a lot of the Punisher, and now we're still, that's still rumors.
We don't know.
but-
No, it's confirmed Punisher's coming. We just don't know when.
Probably.
We know Luke Cage is coming in 2017, and we know that Iron Fist and the Defenders are coming in 2017. We don't know when Daredevil season 3, which has been confirmed, is coming.
2018, they said.
Okay, so then that's probably coming in 2018. Jessica
And
Jones season
2018.
2 and the Punisher
interesting.
are probably all coming in 2018.
Huh.
Which is still before the Infinity Wars.
I think
Wait, what?
I honestly think it's too late to have them involved in the Infinity Wars.
I think their part is still going to be integral to the whole Infinity Wars thing.
The Defenders?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's going to be integral?
Or at least a small part, like, hey, did you hear about these clowns in Hell's Kitchen?
I mean, maybe. I think what's kind of what I heard about the Defenders and how they described it is it's not these 4 heroes coming together for a big event, a la the Avengers and the Avengers movie going against Loki, but it's more of these 4 heroes are now aware of each other and how do they coexist and continue to be street level heroes.
Yeah, quick question. So I read something really interesting today that said Spider-Man is going to deal with a lot of the ground level of the Marvel Universe. But correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he plies his trade mostly in New York.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Defenders and Spider-Man, there's at least a reference, some kind of connection there. Because, Spider-Man's always been, I don't know, dealing with, like he's dealt with the Kingpin before, which is a Daredevil and,
Dealt with
villain.
Daredevil a lot?
Yeah.
Well, also in the...
And Daredevil, right, you're right.
In Spider-Man Web Warriors,
Yeah.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist are part of his team.
Boom.
Yeah, and
So-
he deals with the
So-
lower level stuff,
You heard
while
it
the
here first.
Avengers go and deal with the big stuff.
Yeah.
In the show, in a lot of the stuff.
I'm
like
thinking
that,
maybe
so.
the second Spider-Man movie. It's the first time you might see some interconnectivity between these Marvel movies and the Netflix shows.
I wouldn't be
That
surprised if there's a
might be
reference in
the
the first
first
one.
one.
I really,
I'm sure
I
there'll
really
be. I'm
do.
sure there'll be passing reference. Like you're not the only superhero New York kid. you
Even
know.
if it shows up as like a YouTube video of
Sure.
like Luke Cage or Jessica Jones doing
Right.
something crazy,
Right.
I almost feel like it's gonna be in there.
Because well, I mean, you still have to think Spider-Man even is now at a different level than the Defenders because the Defenders are still street level. Spider-Man is still now seen as an Avenger because of what happened in Civil War.
Yeah, so his game's been raised.
He's a bigger.
And he's got a
superhero.
costume from Iron
Thanks,
Man.
Tony Stark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, overall, we're pretty happy with Luke Cage. Iron Fist, bleh, didn't really tell us anything. Defenders,
potential,
yay,
right? You would say
potential.
Yeah.
We don't really know
Daredevil
much.
confirmed for season 3. And then, of course, I will say this in my most exciting voice. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ghost Rider.
Okay, so
Seems
wait,
like a
wait,
horrible
wait.
combination. I don't get it.
So Nicolas Cage is going to be on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
You know, I would actually watch it.
That would be
then.
I actually
amazing.
might as
It's
well.
I
not
would
gonna
be
happen.
very
Not gonna
interested.
lie.
What?
No, Nick Cage, no.
Seriously?
I would say
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Are you saying that show's
I'm
game
sorry,
would
but
be stepped
Nicolas
up?
Cage is highly entertaining.
Yeah, he
Always
is.
entertaining.
I haven't seen a good Nick Cage movie since 04.
For shame.
Which one was that?
I
Lord
don't
of
even know
War.
what he's done.
Oh, that was
recently.
really good, actually.
Hold on.
The Joker was in that too, by the way. Jared Leto.
as his,
Leto is his
brother.
brother. What?
I'm not looking forward to him as the Joker.
Well, you're not there
Really?
yet.
Yeah, we're almost there. Oh, it's coming up. But anyway,
Wait.
I don't think a lot needs to be said for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, that we didn't see anything. There was nothing. There
This
was
is-
the
fire
shield
chain.
emblem and then
I'll
the
say-
skull, the fire.
Our
say-
parents were excited.
I'll say this: this is ABC and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Hail Mary. They know they're in trouble.
Ooh.
They know they need to step up the show. They have the Ghost Rider property. This is them trying to get more
Well,
interest.
they also lowered
make it
their
or break
they
it.
changed their time frame as well or their time slot instead of being 8
Yeah.
p.m. they're 9 p.m.
Which
which is
is
usually the
darker.
edgier show. So
I hope they're gonna go a little darker with it and go. I mean,
we'll see, but
I want them to.
My hope is way somewhere over there on the
Well,
outside
but
of the
maybe
earth.
that helps though. Maybe with the expectations being a little lower, maybe
We'll see.
like
we'll see.
the Sarah theory going into movies. The no expectations, a more enjoyable experience.
No,
You
but
do.
it
You
works.
enjoy them much
Yeah, it
better if you
works.
just
No,
don't
it
expect a
works.
lot out of it.
Yeah.
You can
But-
really enjoy it, and maybe later you go, you know what? I don't want to watch that again. It was kind of crap.
They-
But in the moment, it was enjoyable.
Right, so
because
maybe
I didn't expect anything
maybe
out of it.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4. Do I believe that? No.
They would have
Just
been.
trying to get out the
No, but it's a little different for a television show
Yeah,
because
it's
you're more
built on
invested in, and
expectations.
if you
Of course.
if you go in completely expecting nothing, you've got to expect something, or it's not worth sticking with. For
Season
a
6 of Walking Dead.
Okay, well,
What's
anyway.
that next?
That pretty much ended it for me. After that, I was like, I'm done with this show.
Wow.
Haven't gone back to it.
Well,
I haven't watched the second
it
half
yet,
of
yeah.
season 6 yet.
haven't
Same
seen any
here.
of
I
season
just
6.
don't care.
I'm a little behind.
So I'm just because I wanted to see what exactly has Nicolas Cage done lately.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry,
God.
I'm tangenting. However, he's in the Snowden movie coming out, and this.
Wait,
What?
really?
Wait, isn't
He's
Gordon Levitt?
So yeah,
That guy?
yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in
There we
it.
go.
He is Snowden.
Yeah, right.
However, there's not a character name listed, but he's in the movie. I don't
Nicolas
know.
Cage as
It's
Nicolas
directed
Cage.
by Oliver Stone, right?
By Nicolas Cage.
Well,
Starring Nicolas Cage.
So anyway, I didn't know that. I like Nicolas Cage.
I do
Whatever.
too.
National
Oh, you
treasure.
can just shut up.
No, I like him too.
So let's keep moving
so
on.
wait, I want to say one more. No, not Nicolas Cage. I promise.
Sure.
One more thing before we leave the Marvel world.
Wow.
The Marvel world is that the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You said is
Oh,
releasing.
that's right. That's
They're
right.
releasing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on PS4 and
Wait.
Xbox, right?
They're re-releasing it. And for you, the viewers
No.
Oh, go ahead. You say
I
it.
don't. No, I wasn't going to.
Oh,
I have one question when
sure.
you're done.
Go ahead.
It's going to be like, internet, I can play with anyone I want.
I would
like
assume.
I would hope
four-player.
so. That would be really freaking
It
cool.
better- it better be.
Because you had a team in there.
Yeah,
so
so
like, if you
four
can
people,
play,
four
like,
people team,
I don't
yeah.
know if they're gonna. That would take a pretty major overhaul though to do that.
Not really.
Would it not?
No. It would be pretty simple.
It
Okay.
better be that, or else I'll be mad.
That would be
Anyway,
really cool.
the big thing,
no,
Sarah,
No, I just think it's cool.
our very own Sarah here, actually did the voice of the Phoenix, Jean Grey in Marvel Alliance,
In
the first
the
one.
Which
first
is quite
Marvel
the
Ultimate
mind
Alliance.
bender.
Wait, does that mean you
Right.
play as yourself?
Yeah.
You
'cause it's
probably
kind of fun.
Which is sweet,
No,
though.
You don't actually. I don't think. Was she a fully playable character? She
No,
was.
she's a voice.
She's
just a
she's
voice.
cutscenes and she's a character you play with as your team, so you don't get to pull that character in and play as that character.
That's disappointing.
It wasn't fully Actually, it
Actually-
might be. She may be partly playable.
It'll probably come out. We'll do a quick live stream and we'll let you all know.
But just to sum
anyway.
up, our very own Sarah Waits Ramgopal
Hi.
is in
Marvel
as the
Ultimate
voice of,
Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix.
aka Dark Phoenix. So, boom.
Yeah.
blown.
I was just excited that now.
Yeah,
You can't get that anywhere else.
You really can't.
All right.
You really can't.
I was just excited that it was something that we can now play on
The big screen.
No, that's
on the big
that's,
screen
that's
and on the
actually
new
sweet as well,
platforms.
yeah.
I was actually not bringing it up. Thanks.
Oops. Anyway, let's move on to
Gonna,
DC.
Yes, please.
So,
let's move on to DC.
I would say the two things that I found most interesting.
3.
Two
There's a couple of good ones
things.
there.
The only two things I found super interesting is the Wonder Woman trailer.
Yes, thank you. I was
Took
hoping
me by surprise.
It was so good.
It was really good.
The
yeah.
Justice League trailer was actually
Also good.
Intriguing.
concerning.
at least.
Oh.
Wait. Okay.
Oh, no,
all right.
no.
We have to discuss that a little
All right,
bit.
Sure,
we'll
sure,
get
sure.
that one.
Okay.
Sure, and then the Suicide Squad trailer was okay,
It was
cool.
the
I
same
know it's
stuff
coming.
we've seen.
Whatever.
It's the same stuff we've
Yeah,
seen.
I
didn't
didn't.
feel like we got
wasn't too
anything
blown
new
away
out of
by
that.
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Right?
And
So-
then
That was
the,
actually my favorite. The
Really?
Suicide Squad one.
Oh,
But
hold
your
on.
favorite of the
The
trailers.
cats just got fed. Look, Oz is going to go eat
But-
food.
The others can't look with us.
Oh, well, too
no,
bad.
they can't, but-
Well, let's pull a Marvel. We'll describe to you what's going on. So a large
we
brown
have
cat.
We have an automatic pet feeder that has an app. It's really cool. It's called PetNet. Just so you know,
Anyway,
if anybody wants to look for that. Sorry, it's a good feeder.
the other big thing, or the other big news, is a lot more information came out about the animated movie, The Killing Joke. There was a little bit of an intense moment, I guess, during the Comic-Con panel. We'll get to that in a second. But let's start with the Justice League trailer.
Why is
Well,
that bad?
okay, all right.
I don't know. Look, can we start with Suicide Squad then? It wasn't bad, but we just got nothing out of it.
Sure, fine. Suicide Squad was
Nothing new. It was
whatever.
what it is. It's coming out soon. There
I'm
was
looking
nothing
forward
new.
to it.
I feel,
I mean, it's
I'm gonna enjoy it.
yeah.
I just
like-
felt there wasn't anything new revealed in the
I
trailer.
was telling Christian this earlier today, but I love the Suicide Squad trailers from the way that they're edited, and that they don't tell us anything about the movie.
Yeah.
So and it just
Perfect.
it gets me excited in their trailers. Like as an editor, that I just want to keep watching. Like they're so well. I feel like they're really well done. It was a lot of recycled footage that's been used in previous trailers, but the music choice and the audio cues and everything, I love it.
I personally am very
Gonna hate
excited to see Amanda Waller's character.
Yeah, because the actress,
Because
what's her
she
name?
seems
Yeah.
so intense. She's probably like the most intense Amanda Waller I've ever seen, animated or live.
Really?
Yes.
Go ahead, Christian.
Because some of those
ask the
animated
question.
Amanda
Yeah,
Waller,
who's Amanda
some
Waller?
some of those Amanda Waller animated characters are pretty intense.
Amanda Waller is a government employee.
Oh yeah, so she's
she's-
in a couple of shows and stuff. I just
Yeah.
She was in
didn't know her
the
name.
Flaro universe.
She's in
That-
Flash. Well, she's in Arrow.
She's
and
in
Flash.
the early 2000 Justice League animated show.
She's in Young
She's
Justice.
the government official?
She's a
in
government
Young Justice.
official. Yeah, basically she's always there. She's not a bad person, but she walks the that black
Wait,
white
isn't there
line.
a big network, popular network, like How to Get Away with Murder? Is that her?
Yes,
No.
she's
That-
the same
that is
actress.
her.
The same
That's
actress.
the one,
She's
yeah.
actually in a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
in a lot. She's
in a really good
great
stuff,
actor.
And that's why I'm very excited to
Yeah.
see her portrayal of Amanda Waller. I think it might be the
Yeah.
most real and most intense
That would
part
be
of
pretty-
She's
Suicide
probably the
Squad.
best actress,
Oh,
actor in the movie.
I think so. Not
Easily.
Jared Leto and his Joker.
Leto.
Whatever.
Jay Leno. What if they had Jay Leno as the Joker?
Oh no.
It would be better than this monkey that
hi,
we've got.
Oh, no.
Welcome to my show.
I'm sorry, but his portrayal of the Joker is just absolutely terrible. Also,
What?
the cast has spoken out. I don't know if you heard about what he
His
did.
weird stuff, the
His
weird
weird
antics.
stuff. He gave them like a pig that was stuffed with maggots.
Did
He
he?
just did weird things. I get you're trying to be a method actor.
He's trying to be Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right, but the Joker
Trying to
doesn't.
be Heath
As the
Ledger.
Joker.
Right, but that's the
As-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on that role.
Right,
I
the
will say
Joker
that.
is a little wonky and a little messed in the head, but he's methodical in what he does. And what he was doing, the actor Jared,
Is
whatever you say
Leto.
his name,
Jared Leto.
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 Just say
Oh,
say Leto.
Leto.
The lead singer from 30 Seconds to Mars.
There you go.
That works. That
He
works.
should have probably just stuck with that. Anyway,
Wow. No, he's a good actor though.
He's not a bad actor at all.
not
Yeah.
in this case. I'm telling you, I honestly believe the weakest part of this film is going to be his portrayal of the Joker, because the last time we saw the Joker on screen, it was Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And I understand you
That's
don't
hard
want to
to-
repeat that.
And
Yeah.
that's hard
But
to
you
stand
went
up to.
so far the wrong way.
You think so?
Yes.
So I've actually heard from a group of friends of mine who said they're looking forward to it because he seems to portray more of the cartoon/comics version of it.
Are you
I
talking
don't
about
know-
Mark Hamill's version of the Joker? Because once again,
I guess so.
Yeah.
this
I
is
don't
still
know.
too far the other
I don't
way.
feel like it
I will-
portrays
past
the-
that?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm going to
interesting.
reserve judgment until I see the movie. But I will say, when Heath Ledger was initially cast as the Joker in The Dark Knight,
Everybody said the exact same thing I'm saying.
a lot of negative things.
Yeah, but
And then
Heath
it's
Ledger
weird.
didn't give the cast and crew a pig filled with maggots.
Yeah, but he also had a journal where he wrote his inner thoughts as the Joker, which was really weird.
I don't think that's as weird. That's a
I
private
think that's-
thing.
that's
That's
correct.
honestly that's a technique that you can use to get yourself into the character.
Sure.
He was less heavy method than this apparently weird
This one just
J-Dog.
doesn't. I don't know. This one just.
J-Dog.
Yeah. This
J
one.
Pig apparently.
This
J
one.
Big.
Oh, man.
This one seems to me
J-Maggot.
like some kind of young kid
Pulling pranks,
pulling pranks
trying to be.
and just trying too hard to be something
I mean,
he's not.
It's
naturally.
not even.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Basically, me in
I
high
wanna
school.
You in high school?
Yeah.
You guys do know he's supposed to be in the Justice League movie, right?
Oh.
Well, you know what? Hold
Forget
on. Let's
this world.
just see.
Oh,
Let's
look, there's a thing on our thingy here. That says just.
As
let's
is-
just see the
Lex
just see
Luthor.
the movie,
Yeah.
and I won't even talk about my feelings about him. So,
So
let's just see. Let's
sure.
watch it and see.
Sure. So that brings up my other point with the Justice League trailer. It was awesome. Your initial reaction is like,
I
"Wow,
loved
this
it
is
so much.
awesome. This
I need
is fun.
So great.
I need friends."
Oh god, hold on. I'm in.
But do you guys remember when Batman vs Superman, when they showed the first
I
kind of teaser
know.
trailer? We said the same thing. We're like, "This is awesome. How could they mess it up?" And they messed it up.
So real quick though, I think there's a huge difference though that me and Jim have talked about extensively, is that the Batman versus Superman, and we got this from the very first trailer, even though that we thought it was cool, took itself way too seriously. If we get anything from this new Justice League movie, is that they've taken a lot of the complaints of it being too ridiculously over the top, like self-important, and they've made it not. I hate to say it, but they're copying Marvel's formula a little bit, where you got to put a little bit of humor in there, not take yourself so seriously, and it seems to work.
You can totally tell that the executives of Warner Brother
have no idea what they're doing.
Took the criticism of Batman vs Superman as way too serious of a movie. That's the number one thing they took, and you see it in the Justice League trailers, the Wonder Woman trailer, and the Suicide Squad trailer.
I was going to say they've applied it heavily to Suicide Squad,
and there's a lot of quirkiness there. Now my concern is, I don't want it to be too quirky now. Like, so you want to add some quirkiness, but you still need some. You don't want to just copy Marvel, because it's just gonna be a cheap imitation.
A lot of those themes in those movies are gonna be dark, and they don't need to completely lose that, because then
you lose your story.
You lose your story.
My other concern though is when you break everything down that DC is pushing at us, right? Like from the get-go, their costumes, they look bad.
You don't like the costumes?
Wait, I don't like costumes. Hold on.
I actually like them.
Okay,
I do not like them. They look like garbage.
Wait, Wonder Woman looks...
They look like Iron Man had like Tony Stark walked in and was like, "Hey, this is how you should design your costumes.
A little
metallic and metal and whatever."
I don't understand the Wonder Woman boots, but I do like her costume.
I actually like the Flash's costume, the armor, because that's from a specific comic book storyline.
Flashpoint.
The armor?
The Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah. So I kind of like it, and I also like the style that they're using with like the electric shocks or whatnot. I kind of like that look of it, and like I'm not a big fan of the Batman redesign in the whole Justice League, but like it's not seeing it in a second movie, it's starting to grow on me a little bit, and like the little Batarang.
I'll be honest. I mean, for me, it comes down to this.
It looked kind of big.
It's
not little.
It comes down to this. Justice League will be a forgetful film.
Well,
it'll be a whatever.
So here's the most interesting part, and the biggest thing about the Justice League trailer, and we haven't even talked about it yet. There was no Superman in the trailer.
Yeah. I want to say that. Yeah, we actually. I realized that earlier because
he's gonna be in the movie.
Because we were grabbing some things to put on our table, and we've got now. These are the Kotobukiya New 52. We have all of the everything that Kotobukiya New 52 Justice League has out right now.
Right.
And so we've got Wonder Woman and Batman, and I was about to grab Superman, and I realized there was no Superman in the trailer, so I didn't bring Superman out.
Oh, by the way,
weird.
We've been blocking the two most important pieces.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Of like the whole thing.
We'll get back to that.
So yeah, Superman in the trailer.
Yeah.
Everyone knows he's going to be in the movie. Everyone knows he's not. He's going to come back in some form, way, shape, or form. I mean, if you look at the IMDb and everything, he's listed as the second star behind Ben Affleck, right? So we
and
know
it's
he's gonna
not
be
the
back.
Justice League without Superman.
Exactly.
It's just not.
But having said that, and Christian and I talked about this, why bring him back as a hero?
Keeping him as a bad guy is way more interesting.
His best, and hear me out on this, Superman's best comic arcs are when he's bad.
Yeah, when he's part of Darkseid.
Such a Boy Scout.
Exactly. When he is not the perfect Superman, it's when he's bad.
I will say, the thing is, the bad guys are always the best characters to play. There's so much more there. Exactly. They're not the Boy Scouts. They're not the and when good characters turn bad, that's even better because there's so much more meat to the character.
Yeah.
Like, actors, as a general rule, enjoy playing bad guys. It's much more fun to be the bad guy. To have some weird whatever behind your character versus I'm good and everything's great and I'm your superhero. It's not. That doesn't there's nothing there. So
I agree.
It would be really interesting to have him play the baddie.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be cool, even though they're calling what's his name, Steppenwolf or
Wait, what?
the main baddie of Justice League?
Oh, I actually don't know that.
It's
character.
not Steppenwolf.
I've never
that's
heard...
a band from the.
No. Google it right now.
Hold on.
Darkseid.
No, Darkseid is not the villain of Justice League. It's like Steppenwolf.
Like Stefan? Like Steven?
No, Steppenwolf like the band. Hold on, I'm looking.
But anyway,
if it's
but Justice League or Warner Brothers is spouting that he's the villain of the movie. He was seen in that deleted scene they released a day after Batman vs Superman came out that Lex Luthor was communicating with.
Oh.
But I think what would be cool if Warner Brothers is...
Oh, he's from New Gods.
Yeah, so if Warner Brothers...
It's Steppenwolf like the band.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if,
Nobody knows
that's
the band in
that's
this
the-
room but me.
But so what I find interesting is a year plus before the movie comes out, Warner Brothers is like, yeah, this is the bad guy, but we haven't seen Superman in the trailer yet. Batman clearly has the vision of the evil Superman army and is concerned with it throughout Batman vs Superman, but Superman will become too powerful and whatnot. Mm-hmm. What if Warner Brothers is setting up the Justice League first movie or whatever to be about the Justice League coming together to stop this threat, only for the threat to turn out to be Superman, the actual fear that Batman had,
Right,
has
so
now come to fruition.
Steppenwolf also is the is like the right lieutenant to Apocalypse. Not Apocalypse, Darkseid.
Darkseid, right? Yeah. So
Um,
it's setting up Darkseid.
Right,
So-
which they've done multiple times in the 90s animated
Sure.
series. They have a whole thing where
Darkseid.
takes them over. So most likely you're right there.
So I really want his
Figure out one of
just
those.
because you guys don't.
Ugh.
I really want one of. I really need them to play Magic Carpet Ride in the movie.
Ooh.
That's
That's the
Steppenwolf.
band?
You
That
don't
does.
know.
Oh,
what
yeah, that's a great
we
song.
could find.
I didn't know it was
Why don't you
Steppenwolf.
come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet
If-
ride?
if
Okay,
they are-
I'm so disappointed.
No,
I know the
We
song too. I'm
no.
just trying to think
Just
about how
know
that would
Steppenwolf.
work.
I don't know, but I
visually.
really need Steppenwolf to play in that movie. There are other songs, but that's like like you play that and people are like, oh, and then it's Steppenwolf.
If
It's
DC
so amazing.
If they are going for that
come
like
on,
really
just be cheesy.
funny, ironic edge that we
cheesy.
seem to get from the trailers, they will do it.
Well, I actually have one point to bring up about Justice League. So my friend Eric brought up this really good point after watching the trailer. And in the trailer, Bruce Wayne is talking to Aquaman. He's like, a man brings fish to these people when the high tide, the king's tide.
Mm-hmm.
It was yesterday. And then he looks at him.
Yeah.
But Aquaman is friends with fish, but he's feeding his friends to humans? Or does he not just communicate with these fish because they're lower level fish?
Yeah, maybe
Well, maybe. I mean, think about it. I mean, maybe they are like it's a type of fish that is not. It's been bred by the other fish.
Wait, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about I'm sorry, I'm regaining control here.
I'm gonna go
Moving
back.
on.
I'm gonna
Moving
just
on.
take it back to a
We're
happy
moving on.
Aquaman place where Jason
Beautiful.
Momoa is amazing, and I'm really happy that he's.
I like
Aquaman.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy and SpongeBob.
All right.
So CW TV shows.
Yes.
Everything was great but the arrow, of
Okay.
course.
So can I? Or do you want to? Do you want to? Or can I?
Yeah, Arrow sucks and the show
Okay.
already.
Can I?
Go for it.
This is my problem. Obviously, we're going with Flashpoint Paradox.
Yes.
In the Flash, right? The Arrow universe
It is not.
is not going with that. So what? I mean, are they? And if we're having a crossover, does that mean we're only going to have Flashpoint Paradox for like half a season? Then we have a crossover that brings everything back to now, and then that pulls everything back together, which I think has got to be what happens because it's
So
not like
from what
that's-
I've read, and this is gonna be really disappointing to you guys,
Oh.
Flashpoint
La 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 la.
is gonna last
2 episodes.
like 2 episodes,
God.
one or 2 episodes max, and then they go back.
Oh my gosh!
I'm done with
All
this.
right, so
Our
we
host,
just lost
our
Robbie.
host just walked out.
Okay, I would
I'm
like
sorry.
to
No,
say
no.
this.
I'm sorry. CW. Look at me. Look at me. Are you
Wait,
serious?
wait.
Oh, okay.
Look,
There's your
at-
camera.
Look at me. Are you serious?
And also,
Are you serious?
Also,
Wow.
I would like to say, as long as I'm on this camera, for anyone listening or watching, for a good Flashpoint Paradox, go watch the movie Flashpoint Paradox
Yeah, you're off right
by
now.
DC. It's an animated film. It's wonderful. DC really knows how to do the animated films.
They do. They do that
really
great.
do.
Clearly, they don't know how to do their
Until
show
now.
art correctly.
Until now.
Are you serious?
Speaking of DC animated films, can we move on to that or no?
Do you want to talk about Black Canary? No. CW doesn't get our respect anymore. We're moving on from them. I'm done with them. Their shows are all
No,
terrible.
wait, we could talk about the new.
Wait, are you serious? 2 episodes.
It's so
He's so
someone
hurt.
someone said it's gonna last a lot. It's not gonna be as long as you think it's gonna be.
I need
So
it
I
to
thought
be
it would be
longer.
like 5 episodes. So a lot shorter means like 1.
Wait, but how long? these seasons are full seasons, right? So
20
we're talking
24.
24 episodes,
Okay,
yeah.
24 episodes. So they're not even doing like a quarter of the season, possibly? Because I was hoping they'd at least do half of the season. Like half the season would be good. A full season would be great. That'd be amazing. But half the season, you got this alternate reality for half a season, and then you flip back around, and then something, whatever.
I thought we had heard, though, that in order to bring in Supergirl, that they were using the Flashpoint Paradox as a way to bring everything together.
That doesn't make sense, though.
So there's been some conflicting reports because initially it was reported like Flash is going to go Flashpoint for like till December.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That makes sense.
The 4-part series.
That makes sense to me.
But then they made these comments that it's not going to last as long as you think. And the fact that they mentioned it will be seen in other shows, but in a very minor way. Like, they said, oh yes, Arrow will see the difference of Flashpoint in a minor Easter eggy type of way. And the way to save that is you end Flashpoint after like its first or second episode.
Yeah.
Which
Which
is disappointing.
It's such a good arc.
And so what they've revealed about the Flash season 3 is that Barry has been like living in the Flashpoint arc for a year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Still not okay with that.
No.
Really
I just have
There's
one
a lot of things I'm
question.
disappointed with.
What's the Flashpoint Paradox?
Wait,
At
hold
least
on.
explain the significance of it, or we
Okay.
can't.
So
do that?
it's one
'cause-
of the coolest comic book arcs ever.
So wait, just to clarify for everyone, Krishna does not watch Flash.
No.
And
Not yet,
you're not
not yet.
as familiar with the Flash storylines and stuff, right?
So,
Right.
Flashpoint
Okay.
Paradox, in a nutshell. Barry Allen, at a young age, Barry Allen plays the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
At a young
Is the
age, he
Flash.
loses his mother. Depending on the story, comic book that you read, variety of different ways.
Right.
Anyway, it's a big traumatic event for him.
And hold on, to an extent, that's what causes him to become the Flash, because it pushes him to the things that cause him to become Flash. Go ahead.
Gotcha.
So, in order to correct this, Barry, being able to run very, very fast, is able to run so fast that he's able to break the time barrier.
Right.
At some point, he decides to go back in time and prevent his mother from dying, which then causes this massive ripple effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the most famous Flashpoint paradoxes is their animated one, where him running back so far changes a bunch of other events, specifically for like
It's
the
the butterfly
Justice League.
effect.
Right, exactly. In the case of Batman, instead of Bruce Wayne surviving, he dies.
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne, his father, survives and becomes Batman. But
Wait,
it's
say
more-
what now?
Yep.
So in that instance where in the normal timeline Bruce's parents get killed,
Yeah.
Bruce actually gets killed and his parents survive.
Whoa.
And Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, and his mom becomes the
Yes,
Joker.
Yes, which is a really cool. You need to watch Flashpoint
And then
Paradox. It's amazing.
also Superman never becomes Superman. He's locked up
Because
as a
because
kid.
his rocket ship that comes crashing from Krypton, instead of crashing in Smallville, it hits Metropolis and destroys like a couple blocks because giant thing hitting a city, explosion.
Right, that's.
And
So
so-
he's locked away.
Away from the sun, so
Aquaman,
he's-
and Wonder Woman
Weak, very
declare
weak.
war on each other with the Amazonian people and the Atlantean people. So there's a giant war on Earth going on.
So
Yeah.
in a nutshell, the whole world is messed
whole-
up. So in order for Barry to fix it, he has to go again back in time and stop himself
From
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 stopping
stopping
him.
his
Right.
yeah.
There are a
That
couple.
is a
There are a
great-
couple
You
other
need to watch
story
Flashpoint
arcs in the comic
Paradox.
books. They causes what's known as crisis on multiple.
Crisis on Two Earths.
On two Earths,
Which is also really great.
There's a bunch of
So
different
many.
different.
Now,
ones.
there have been multiple rumors with Supergirl being part of the CW that some of these events will sort of take place. They've cast Superman and Supergirl.
Mhm.
There's rumors that they're casting Oracle
Okay.
and Batwoman in Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some version.
Okay.
There's also rumors that Flashpoint, instead of using the Batman, like his father becoming Batman, they're going to use Green Arrow, which they referred to in season 2 of The Flash on Earth 2, where his father is
The Green Arrow.
the Green Arrow.
Right.
Sort of using that. So because Arrow has become the Batman of this CW TV
Mhm.
universe.
Right.
Sort of using that instead. So it'll be interesting. Again, we still don't know if Flashpoint, how long it's going to be, how many of these stories you can dive into and everything, how far wide the effects are going
The
to be.
I
the
think it's
bigger
not
thing though,
going
I
to.
think I honestly think though
Unfortunately.
out of everything that Warner Brothers is doing, the biggest thing that they have established in both the cinematic universe and the television universe, there is this thing called a multiverse.
Right.
And by the simple fact that they've done this, they've opened the door that the cinematic and the TV universe can collide.
One day.
One day, maybe an episode, maybe it's a sentence.
I mean, that's the nice thing, though. DC is very, very multiverse.
I like that.
Multiverse centric,
DC
yes.
has always been multiverse centric, so it's a nice, it's a nice,
Thing.
yeah, thing. It brings a lot. It gives you a lot of options.
For sure.
Cool.
All right, so, what else we got?
Yeah, what's next, host?
Hello everyone. I'm the host here today. Oh,
What's
wait.
your name?
What's your name? Legends of Tomorrow, League of Doom.
I actually think that's cool.
I think
It's
Legends
kinda
of
cool.
Tomorrow looks great. I gotta be honest, it's one of my favorite CW shows. Now they're putting the money behind it. The effects are great. It's not as cheesy as you think it's gonna be. I mean, like you automatically think, oh, that's gonna be a little cheesy when they do that on TV. It's really not. It's really well done and it's highly entertaining. And I'm just really, I don't know. I look forward to season 2 because season 1 I really, really enjoyed.
I'm kind of glad that they've trimmed the main cast of the Legends a little bit to focus, because especially in the early episodes, there's so many characters.
There's so much going on.
It's like good people are getting regulated for 2-3 episodes, like one sentence.
Yeah.
Which happens when you have too many people on an ensemble cast. It's tough.
Well, they said they wanted to be kind of like the Firefly of time travel,
Which
is
I feel like
hard to do.
Yeah, for sure.
With that large of a cast, yeah.
Right. Firefly had a much smaller cast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited, and especially with we saw Reverse Flash is going to appear at least early in Flash season 3, as he's been captured by Barry for all this time, I guess.
Eobard Thawne.
The roles have reversed.
Yeah,
Bang.
because Reverse Flash.
I'm telling you,
runs.
we are killing it with the jokes today.
And then, I mean, you obviously have Merlin. You also have Captain Cold, Wentworth Miller's character. You have Damien Dark coming back, so that'll be interesting. And then those are the only 4 announced so far. There are more to come. So it'll be interesting to see. We're going to get Ra's al Ghul return.
If they're gonna do League of Doom, though,
Zoom.
if they're gonna do League of Doom, they have to bring in what's his face, the ape,
Gorilla Grodd.
Killer Grog,
Grog.
because he's part of the League of Doom.
Yeah.
Well, he's already
Also-
been introduced. It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't.
Also, Lex Luthor is a huge member.
I don't know that they'll pull him in though, because he's part of the. It's a bigger character. They haven't pulled in the bigger
So the
characters
DC
like that.
universe is still, or the DC cinematic is still trying to keep certain characters off of the TV show. That's why they
That's
quote
such a-
unquote killed the Suicide Squad in the CW universe, because they're doing the Suicide Squad movie. It's not as recognizable as a product. That's also why they're bringing Superman into the TV universe, because he's now killed off in the movie universe. They don't want they don't want a lot of 2 versions running around. The Flash is okay because the Flash is really recognizable and whatnot.
And
But it's
plus
also
the time travel
Superman
stuff,
as
too, right?
well
I was
is
gonna say Superman's
recognizable.
a pretty recognizable
But
character.
Superman is right now dead though in the movie cinematic universe. There's not 2 alive.
for a year and a half.
And then watch. As soon as Green Arrow's TV show ends, they'll introduce him into the Justice League.
So moving on, I think we can safely close the book on Marvel and DC. Once again, to quickly recap, DC won Comic-Con.
They did. You could find all of the trailers immediately. It was great. It was
Smart. Very smart.
Wait, did we
Yeah.
talk? Well, so we liked Wonder Woman though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wonder
yeah,
Woman
yeah,
was
Wonder Woman's
amazing.
great. Yeah, okay.
We talked about that. Wonder Woman looks great. Wonder Woman, and I think you and I talked about it, had the same feel. And I think it's just the way it feels like a period piece a little bit, because it goes back to the original, which we knew. It feels a little bit like Captain America, but I think that's just because they're both kind of set around the same time, turn of the century to early like World War I, World War II. Like,
Well, Wonder Woman's World War One.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You're getting that same time period though, and you get that same feel, just because that's when she comes to Earth, and that's when and you see Captain America. So it's all within the same time.
And she sees the
Era-ish.
first man,
And she sees the first man,
James Tiberius Kirk.
Chris Pine.
Chris?
Anyway, Wonder
Chris
Woman was a great
Pine.
trailer. We'll see what Justice League is
Yeah,
like.
I'm excited.
Let's move on to some of the other not unknowns, but some of the other big ones. Let's talk, Walking Dead for 30 seconds. Go.
I kind of liked the trailer. It's interesting. I thought it was smart that they didn't show any of the characters who were in the lineup for Negan's bat. in the trailer. It showed a lot of Morgan, one of my personal favorites. Some Carol. She looks like she's gone Joker-esque crazy. But I mean, it remains to be seen. I do feel like the show after this season, they need probably another new showrunner and needs a new voice because Scott Gimple has now been the showrunner since season 4. And honestly, seasons 4, 5, and 6, and 7 are all having this very familiar...
big group of bad guys.
Big group of bad guys murdered a female character who's on the run at the end of the trailer. It's the same thing now. So
All right.
they need to change that up a little bit.
Christian?
I didn't watch it because I didn't see season 6, so
Are you gonna watch season 6 there, Christian?
Yeah, eventually.
All right. See, I was gonna say the same thing because I was not inclined to watch the second half of the season.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the season.
We watched the first half of the season, but we stopped and we haven't cared to watch it. We didn't. We watched the first season of Fear the Walking Dead, and we haven't watched the second season. We don't
Really.
I
haven't seen Fear at all.
I mean,
so.
we just. I gave up on it.
That's
It's
a shame.
7 seasons, a spin-off show. There's only so much you can do with zombies, and it's
I don't know.
It's
I
just
just-
boring.
Yeah.
It's not interesting anymore.
I've gotten to the
Yeah.
point where I don't care enough to invest any time.
Season 6 was also the first season of Walking Dead that saw its ratings decline.
Oh, there you go.
Because we didn't watch?
Well, I think a lot of
Sorry.
people are feeling
Nice.
the same fatigue. It's
It's-
like anything. Anything gets fatigued after a few years.
Friends didn't. Anyway.
That's a bit different, though.
Seinfeld.
No, I know
Honestly.
exactly that, but
Yeah,
that's a
so
sitcom.
some
That's a whole
of-
different.
right.
It's because, well, with those things, you can introduce new things. You know, there's a lot more to go off of.
Different
Yeah.
format, too.
Exactly.
You're
The
throwing
Walking
on
Dead,
eating
you're
dinner.
going
It's
against
funny.
zombies. That's it.
Those shows don't really have those shows are essentially the universe is quote unquote there's some overarching theme, sure, but if I'm watching a 24 episode season of Friends, do I need to watch all 24
Nope.
episodes in the same order? No, I don't.
No,
And that's the thing with a sitcom; it's a little different.
Right.
I know. I said sitcom was different. However,
So
I would
maybe
still
they
rather
should
rather rewatch multiple episodes of Friends over and over and over than watch The Walking Dead, and I think that says a lot.
What about The Talking Dead though?
No,
I think it's hitting its stride now.
Nope.
Moving on. Voltron Season 2 has been announced.
And
Good.
it's coming this year.
Yep, September.
That's what's great.
September,
Oh,
October.
You're so cute, all of you.
It's a great show.
I'm sorry,
good
you watched
show.
it while I was in China. I can't watch it.
You can watch it.
Still on Netflix.
No,
You
I
can do it in
watch
like a
Are you
day.
gonna watch it again?
You could.
I'd watch it again.
I'd watch it again.
It's
I'd watch it
entertaining.
again.
We'd all watch it
I'm
again.
just, I couldn't watch it because I was,
Um,
unable to stream from
So that's
China.
exciting. We'll have a loser review of that coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah,
Whenever it comes
Krishna.
Hi.
All right,
Hey, Sarah, how's your review going?
working on it.
Okay, moving on. Kong Skull Island.
He looks big.
He's gigantic.
He looks like Godzilla sized. What the hell?
My real
Well,
question.
that makes sense though.
My
'cause
real question is,
Yeah, that's
He
right.
was a big monkey.
when is the
big
crossover movie
A big.
Between that and Godzilla,
between that Godzilla and Pacific Rim?
Universal's still working on it.
Wait,
We'll
Pacific
figure it
Rim?
out. I want to see
Okay,
the big
that's how you
monster
kinda
They want
Okay,
to. They want to create a monster universe.
between
Wait,
Godzilla.
Pacific Rim is.
But Pacific
It's the
Rim
same
is so
guys?
far in the future that
Yeah,
it's
It's
not
Universal.
Yeah.
It's all Universal
That's
Studios.
all so far in the future. Anyway,
That's amazing.
I know. A
we
big,
talk about
big
Pacific
Gypsy Danger, Godzilla, and King Kong
Please.
versing the demon people.
But anyway, I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of.
Do you guys
Oh,
remember?
King Kong.
I've never
yeah.
been a big fan of King
Yeah.
Kong.
Well, here's
so
a fun.
I
Well,
just don't
actually,
care.
here's a fun
I'll
story.
watch it.
I don't know if Christian Ravi remember it. But
King Kong at home.
Well, remember we started a tradition we did for 1 year. Where
Yeah.
us three would go see a movie on Christmas Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to go see King Kong.
And it was
the
terrible.
Peter Jackson version.
Oh.
Well, the
I
thing that made it
remember
really
that
bad
one.
was it got delayed for an hour and a half because the theater broke. They gave us free tickets. We decided to stay, watch the movie, which was overstuffed, overlong. It
3
had-
hours long.
It had Adrian Brody in it. I just remember it feeling really, really long.
Was it,
It was
I remember
forever.
that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone back and watched
I've
it.
never watched it since either.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since I saw it. I
But
think
this
I saw
is
it
this
in
is the
theaters.
first. So this is the first King Kong movie in a decade.
I'm not gonna go watch
Hey, Loki's in it.
it. Not gonna go watch it.
That would be the only thing that might pull me
So
in.
is
Samuel
Captain Marvel.
Jackson's in it, though.
John Goodman.
I'm tired of these
Okay, let me see.
monkeys.
On this plane?
Oh, he's in a
This-
helicopter.
This island, because
He's in-
man is king.
Alright. Yeah, but
Man is
anyway,
king.
So also, Guy Ritchie came out with a new film that he decided
Okay.
to show.
I'm so excited about this.
Wait, what movie?
Wait,
You guys didn't see this?
No.
Okay.
What is this?
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, it is. Hold on, I gotta get the name actually right. It is King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. So,
By Guy Ritchie?
Yes, so it's directed by Guy Ritchie. I need you guys to watch the trailer when you get a chance.
Sure.
All of you out there, watch the trailer. It is King Arthur, directed by Guy Ritchie, starring
Jax Teller.
No, he has a name.
Miles Teller.
No, the guy that plays Jax Teller in
I
Sons of
can't think of his
Anarchy.
name. I can't
He's
think
in
of his
Pacific
name.
Rim.
Charlie
Hunnam.
Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam.
Hanuman.
Hun-
Why is his last name?
We are talking about Charlie Hunnam.
A new Ben-Hur movie?
Charlie. Oh, there's a new Ben Hur movie apparently.
What?
Anyway, so, but
Why
yes,
would
so
you do that?
King Arthur. No, I think might be good. King Arthur. It looks really good. Honestly, I like the Legend of King Arthur, and I'm really excited about this movie. They've got the cast looks good. You guys need to watch this trailer. It looks really good. Charlie Hunnam as Arthur.
Yeah, I can see it.
Charlie
It totally
Hunnam
looks the
as
part,
King
yeah.
Arthur. Hold
Charlie
Totally see it.
Hanuman.
Why is his
Hanuman?
last name Hanuman?
It's not
It's
Hanuman.
not.
It's Hunnam.
It's Charlie Hanuman.
It's Hunnam or Hunman.
What is that? Is that...
Hanuman.
Hunnam. He's British.
That's
Hanuman
British?
is a Hindu.
No, I know
it's
that,
not.
but...
I'm done with you.
But the other...
That's not his name.
Charlie Hunnam is
Yeah,
British.
Charlie Hanuman.
Hunnam?
Hunnam.
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 No,
Repeat
it's,
after me.
no.
Listen.
Hummus.
All
Alright, so-
listen.
Oh my
Hanuman.
god.
Is it Charlie Hummus?
Hummus.
It's not.
Hummus.
Does it come? Ravi, does it come from the hummus plant?
Okay, so
Shut up!
so
The guacamole
Jimon
plant.
Hunsu is in it. He is hold
Wait,
on.
who?
He's the guy who plays he's in Gladiator. He's the black guy in Gladiator with
The guy that lives.
the guy that
The
lives.
only guy that lives.
The
in
only guy that
Gladiator.
lives. He's his friend. He's his slave.
He's also in
gladiator
Guardians
friend.
of the Galaxy. Who's
He's
like,
in Guardians of the
He's
Galaxy.
like,
He's
I'm
He
Star-Lord.
goes,
And then he's like, who?
He's in Stargate.
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Found out.
So
moving on
anyway,
now.
no, hold on. He's in there. Eric Bana is in there as Pendragon, as Uther
As
Uther
Nero.
Pendragon. No, as Uther Pendragon.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
Okay,
So brilliant.
For those familiar with the story as Uther Pendragon, Merlin. Oh, wait, David Beckham's in it?
Yes.
Oh God, you. Ruined
Oh, it just went bad.
it. You just ruined.
Anyway.
He's so pretty. Maybe he won't open his mouth.
Let's move on to the final topic.
Yes.
All right, Star Trek. So the big news first, obviously, is the CBS. No spoilers
No, not yet.
CBS is
No, we're talking about the
developing
TV show.
a new Star Trek show, which
Very
is this is
excited.
actually very exciting because for those that don't know, Star Trek is called Star Trek Discovery. They released the name and showed a little teaser. Which, real quick, the visual effects for that teaser were garbage. I feel like I could have done a better job on my computer. Anyway,
With the iMovie?
yeah, seriously, the ship looked garbage. Anyway.
On your iPhone
Sorry.
with iMovie.
Anyway. This is really cool because this is the first time Star Trek is not actually going to be shown on regular cable television in the traditional sense. It's
Right.
actually going to be done all online through CBS All Access,
Oh.
which is kind of mean because then that means we all have to sign up for CBS All
Oh
Access.
no! Yeah, CBS is the only one that doesn't play ball with the Hulu with the.
Yep, they have
They
their
don't-
entire environment
It's all
enclosed.
CBS, which has honestly I've battled against for years. There were shows I used to watch on CBS that I refuse to watch anymore because I don't want to pay for it.
Hopefully that will change. But yeah, Star Trek Discovery. They
so upset now,
they had
but
a
I'm
brief,
gonna- I'll pay
small panel at Comic-Con. The big news there is they actually showed the ship, revealed the name. It's called Discovery. The ship actually is based off concept designs that Ralph McQuarrie did. Ralph McQuarrie is very well known for doing the original concept art for Star Wars Episode 4, Summer 5, and so forth. So the ship actually, if you look at it, the first thing I saw when I looked at it was this looks like a Klingon warbird and a USS Enterprise level class ship had a baby together, and this is the result. It's very weird looking, but kind of cool.
Interesting.
So they can't tell us. Obviously, the only major piece of news that they revealed is it's going to be in the Prime universe, which is what we all grew up with. Picard's universe.
Right, so it's
The
not
Cisco.
meaning it's not in the current cinematic arc.
Right. That's,
I
That's
actually,
it,
I
that's
actually
it.
hate that.
Why?
You want it to be in this same universe?
Yeah.
I feel like they could
Why?
do more with it not being in this universe.
Well, I feel like they can because now the whole universe is open to anything. If you go back to the Prime universe, you have to stick by a whole bunch of other rules that have been set by
Right, which is
5
true.
TV shows.
Right, which is
And why
true
not?
to the
bunch of movies.
50 plus years of fans. That would be a
Wait,
huge
wait.
dishonor, and
Hold on.
You're not trying to go for the old fans. You're trying to get new fans. That's what they're trying to do.
A question.
I'm being honest.
A
Or
question.
get both.
Yes.
When is this supposed to be set?
We don't know yet.
Not-
We don't
Okay,
know.
so that means depending on when it's set,
Sure.
that we may not have as much to like. You've got I mean, if you start with what Star Trek oh my gosh, the one with Archer, Enterprise. So Enterprise with Archer, it could be somewhere
Enterprise
in
still
between
fits into the movie
Yes.
continuity.
because
This
that's
is
prior
why-
to the
Right.
the offshoot, but it could be anywhere.
So
in there.
what I guess
We don't know when
we
it's gonna
won't
be.
we won't know, right? But so for me, what I'm disappointed about
Mm-hmm.
is you've gained new fans with these new Star Trek movies,
Mm-hmm.
a younger generation.
Sure.
Right? That's how they advertised the first Star Trek. This isn't your father's Star Trek. It's become a popular franchise. I feel like by going back to the Prime universe, you're making it a little more convoluted, and you're alienating your new fans now that you've made, who have now just only come up on the new Star Trek movies.
But remember, Star Trek has always been about pushing things forward based on actual scientific discoveries at the time. And what I mean by that is when Star Trek originally first came out, back in the
TOS.
60s,
Right. The original
70s, whenever,
series.
our view and concept of the universe
It
then
was very different.
completely
So
different
Sure.
Yeah.
from what we know of the universe
yeah.
now. So if we're going to keep pushing things forward, to me it would make sense that Star Trek Discovery takes place well after Picard's time. Maybe there's no Federation. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you're not discovering further different planets or whatever. Maybe you're discovering dimensions, time, whatever else we've discovered about the universe that doesn't come to mind right off the top of my head.
Okay, so can I say this?
Bacteria.
Because growing up, my family, by which I mean like my dad, my aunt, my uncle, various members of my family very much watched Star Trek. And I kind of refused because I watch Star Wars. And you can't make me like something, and that's very much me, because I don't like to like things that other people like, until I watch it and then I decide I do like it. So I did not grow up watching original series. I didn't even watch Next Generation when it was actually airing. I didn't start watching that until college because it would come on in reruns and I would just pick it up. I will say, it doesn't matter. I find, and this is where I disagree with you, Arjuna, is that I find that I don't care which universe it's in, whether it's in the main or it's in the offshoot. I find I can pick up and watch any episode of any of the series, and I don't necessarily have to have prior knowledge. Yes, sometimes it may help, but I have found that because I've watched them all in wonky order. I used to watch random episodes of Next Generation in college, and I watched a lot of it in college, but I didn't watch it in any particular order, whatever order it was on, whatever reruns I picked up. And then I didn't watch any of the other shows until we started dating. So within the last 5 years, then I've watched
Enterprise, Voyager.
Deep Space Nine. I've watched all of them. We've watched everything except for the original series, which I have not watched. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But I feel like
watched the original movies.
it doesn't hinder me to. Yes, the movies are one thing, but I feel like it hasn't hindered me in any way, shape, or form. I haven't watched any of them in the correct order, but I can watch them, and there's nothing from series to series that carries on so much that I have to ask too many questions. So I think putting this new one in the new universe or in the old universe is not going to hinder that.
But I think you're also not the average fan, and yet so I feel like any show, right? Even if it's an established universe, what the number one goal for any TV show or anything is to gain a new audience.
Right.
This show's coming out in 2018,
Right.
where the people born in 2000 will be 18 years old, and the prime demographic for all television shows is that 18 to 26 year group. So they're going to be a lot like, yes, they haven't watched the shows in any order, but they haven't gone back and watched any of it. And they don't have any interest to ever go back and watch it. And they don't have an established...
But like Sarah just
fan,
said,
you know what I mean?
like Sarah just
Sure.
said, so kind of going back toward the Friends, the Seinfeld, you can pick up any episode and watch it.
Yeah.
And like Ravi said, the cool thing about Star Trek is that
Sure.
it is very science based.
Sure.
Why not have this? You can have the movies be where you need to stay connected, but why not have the TV show where it pushes what we know about science now?
Sure.
Where maybe you can try and gain new audience members and bring in old audience members, but it's not.
Sure.
It's not. You know.
My counter argument to all of you is a lot of people I think that will initially be interested, the younger generation that'll be interested in this show, will be people that have watched the new movies. and I think they will be disappointed that has no bearing on this show.
I disagree.
That's my
I think the current generation will base their opinion on the older generation who is going to watch this show first. As a Star Trek fan, the second I heard there's a Star Trek series, I said, clear my schedule in 2018. I'm going to be watching Star Trek,
Sure.
and then I'm going to go and talk about it and blog about it and spread the word as if it's gospel.
Sure.
And that's what I think.
Right.
Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's what Paramount is
I think
basing it
ultimately
on.
it depends on if it's a good show. In
Well,
every
of course,
show,
of
if
course.
it
it's well
stinks,
done.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, and the thing
You
is
know?
again, like I think more so. I know very much more so than Ravi. I love the offshoots. We talked about this last week. I think
Yeah.
like the last several weeks. I have been obsessed with the new Star Trek since that new Star Trek came out. The first
09.
one was it 09 or 08?
09.
No,
09.
it was okay.
09. We looked it up.
Did we? Whatever.
We'll roll back the tape.
Regardless, I've been
Same
obsessed
time,
with that.
Mm-hmm.
09, fine. Since 09, like I loved that movie. I was obsessed with that movie. Star Trek Into Darkness, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that movie, and the two I can totally comprehend, and that's the thing is people are smart. It's okay to have this movie universe and this TV universe. DC's doing it. Star Trek can do it. It doesn't matter.
I
don't think there's going to be a problem with the two
Also,
universes.
I just think people will be
CBS is already hitting that younger generation by the simple fact that they're releasing it on an online platform.
For sure. I just think
That
I
right
just
there
think-
is like
But
one.
I just wonder if CBS will run into the same problem of. I guess it depends on where the movie universe goes, right? In 2018, things could be very different. We know there's a Star Trek, a fourth Star Trek
Being
in the
discussed.
alternate timeline coming out, right? Will they end that series after that, or will it keep going? And will you run into the same problem Disney has now run into with you have your Marvel movies and your Marvel ABC shows and your Marvel Netflix shows, and it feels like it's 3 different universes. And where, as a fan, you're frustrated that there's not more crossover. That's what I think CBS kind of and all that they kind of have to figure out. That's what I'm saying. That's my counter argument, and that's what's going to be interesting to see as we see these connected universes of movies and television shows and webisodes and blogs and viral internet and cereal boxes and whatnot.
Yeah, actually, I have a really quick question because let's be honest, Star Trek has already done this before, right? Star Trek TV show and then the old Star Trek movies.
Mm-hmm.
How did you need to watch those TV shows to get the movies?
No.
Did you need to
No.
watch the movies to get the show?
No, there was
exactly.
there was like a 15-year span between the
Yeah.
series ending and the first movie.
The reason I'm okay with it is because the shows feel different than the movies.
Sure.
The shows are to push these episodic discoveries into science fiction.
Sure.
The movies are blockbuster entertainment. I want to go there to be entertained.
Well, it's
I'm
also,
okay
but it's
with
also
that
different now
distinction.
because you have 2
Distinction.
different continuities.
But you know what? Why not go back toward that a little bit? Why not go back toward, let's make the show not all about money. Let's make it more about pushing the idea of science and science fiction.
But they've also already stated the show will not be episodic like previous shows. It will be more serialized. It will have a more central storyline like many modern dramas, like a la Walking Dead,
They're
Breaking
confirmed.
Bad.
I will
Yes,
say that's
it's
kind of how
not- won't
they
be
went that
episodic.
direction a little bit with Enterprise as well. It was
Yeah,
a little
they did.
more
To a
serial.
degree.
Zindi!
It was a little more.
The Zindi War.
It was a little more
That's
serial.
also Zindi.
Speaking of Zindi
And
Wars,
tying it back to.
Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, it's so good! Sorry, we went to see that today.
Yeah, very.
So,
very entertaining.
Tuna, you first.
Because obviously we like it.
So Star Trek, I think I probably had the lowest ability of us 4. I liked it. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It was solid. I was entertained. No desire to ever see it again. Personally. Just
Wait, really?
yeah. Just like I thought it was a good movie.
Wait,
Oh my
would you-
god, I wanted to
I
go
was-
see it right again
I
immediately.
was
I asked him.
I was entertained.
You did.
But I honestly, so for me, if I was I'm kind of done with the new universe of the characters and everything. I'm just
So then you should be glad Star Trek Discovery's in the
right.
Prime
I'm
Universe.
I'm just trying to bring a different,
Sure.
perspective
Wow, that's
and
interesting.
whatnot. But for me, for me, the movie was solid. It was entertaining. I had some problems with it.
Like, why did Idris's character keep bringing people to the planet?
Or like,
How did he keep bringing people to the
There are a few
planet?
questions.
Okay.
So yeah, Christian and I got into a lot of like questions, but just like,
Why did he just Albert's skin color change?
Why did he steal lives? Like, what was the
Race.
the race on Stargate Atlantis?
So my biggest my biggest technical question, right, of the movie, and I'm sure this was covered in the original script and they cut a lot out. So did they just turn into the race of the species of the technology they found? That's why they had this different language and this desire to find this weapon. And how did they get the ships, first off, as well? They got stranded there. They got these ships
the ships
magically?
were there. He said that in the captain's
Also,
log. So
how
okay,
did
but
he-
hold on. Spoilers. Huge spoilers. If you
Yeah.
haven't watched it, don't watch.
If you haven't watched
stop
Star
watching
Trek
this.
Beyond,
Star Trek
number
Beyond. If
3.
you haven't watched it, just stop or pause us, mute us, whatever.
Also, how did he forget about his old ship?
He didn't.
He didn't forget
He
about
saw
it.
it.
Yeah, no.
He just
But he
abandoned
didn't
it.
realize
That's
anyone
what I'm
was there.
confused.
It was
There's
old
a lot of
it was old technology.
there's
Why
a
would
lot
he
It
need
wasn't
it?
helpful.
there's a
They
lot
found
of
this new
things
stuff.
that confuse me. It's
So
like,
I feel like
why
he
didn't he
did.
just go seek out the thing that he needed? Why did he wait for them to come to him?
He was seeking it. That's what he said. He was looking for it. They found it for him. So this other race happened to come across it,
Sure.
and then they try and give it, and then all of a sudden, once he's like looking through the logs or whatever, he finds
Right.
out, oh, they have what we need.
And then here's my next question. Now, this ship gets abandoned a long time.
The Franklin?
Yeah, before
100-year plus.
before Nero ever shows up. Before the timelines diverge.
Sure.
So
Right.
where is Krull in the Prime Universe?
Oh, this
We
is
don't-
simple. This
he's
is simple.
on that
Everything.
planet.
No, everything's changed already. It's the simple thing of
Butterfly effect.
instead of going left, you went right.
Sure.
But the fact that you simply went right changes to
Apply
undisclosed paths.
apply flashpoint to the
That's
universe.
boring to me.
No,
So, but
boring.
here's the
No,
thing.
apply
Here's
for-
the
I want a
thing.
real
But-
explanation.
No, but seriously,
No, I know.
they already said
It's not a
they
big
didn't
deal,
know what
right.
happened to him. They
Sure.
thought they had all died
Yeah,
heroes.
yeah, yeah.
So they weren't looking for them.
Sure.
So this is on this planet. He's been doing all of this off the radar. It's been through this nebula, so no one can see what's going on. No one knows what's going on. And so that's why, yeah, he's not in this Prime Universe because nobody made it out there. There was no other starship out there
Sure.
from.
Plus, if you look at the timelines in terms of the secondary universe, considering the Prime, I believe Kirk gaining captain of the Enterprise happens at a older age than where
Yeah.
Chris Pine's Kirk is.
Yeah.
And that simple fact right there shows that him
And the
getting
5-year
this...
voyage and the technology
yeah.
with the transwarp.
Yep.
All of
equation.
it.
Yeah,
Right, because
for
that
sure.
transport was pushed forward because Spock then.
I was
okay,
mostly joking
yeah.
about that thing. I mean, you can explain a lot of things away, but I don't know. I just like Idris Elba was cool and was a really convincing villain, and I mean, it's no secret. I think all of us really love Idris Elba.
Liar.
Don't do that.
Liar.
But
Liar.
for
I'm
me,
a fan.
it was just like, meh. You know, I just wasn't like, I wasn't blown away. It wasn't like, I don't know, like even some of the main characters felt underdeveloped. Like what's her face?
No. J-Lo.
Uhura.
Oh.
And Sulu. Like they're just damsels in distress the whole movie essentially. Seriously, they are.
No.
Yeah, but for 2/3 of the movie,
Oh,
they're
boy.
kind of locked up away.
Well, they escaped that. They did.
And then they got
escaped
captured
it.
again.
But still, that's to show they were trying. They were.
I just
They were trying against all odds.
I don't know.
And they did escape.
It feels so like when I think back to the movies, right? Like the reason I like the 09 Star Trek a lot too, because I felt like it developed each character pretty well and had them involved in a lot of cool ways and whatnot. And then Into Darkness was a mess. Nothing made sense in that movie. And then you hit this third one where like they did a good job, obviously focusing on Kirk, and I really liked what they did with Spock and Bones. But I feel like outside of those three characters, like everybody, like it just was a mismatch. It felt like they trimmed a lot of the movie away that Simon Pegg kind of wrote, and I'd be interested to see the director's cut or an extended cut because I feel like there's a lot of the movie actually missing. There's a lot of exposition missing about more of Krull and all that
Sure.
stuff.
To me, though,
That's just my opinion.
Star Trek has never been about the individual. It's been about the overarching story, the team, the group.
The shows have, but the movies have not. They've always been about some of the characters. Wrath of Khan, Wrath of Khan is about Kirk and Spock. Generations is about Kirk and Picard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Each movie has kind of always focused
But
on
this movie
characters.
definitely focused on Kirk. The whole beginning of the movie is
sure.
Kirk being lost.
Sure.
So if you're saying it's supposed to be based on one or two characters, this movie did it perfectly.
Well, but it felt more so. It just felt like some characters had like 2 lines of dialogue, and that was it.
Right, but back to Wrath of Khan. Uhura in Wrath of Khan probably has 5 or 6 lines.
No, she still has a more important role in that, though. She has a more important role of Spock and all of that with accepting his, I'm just ready to die and whatever. And her arc is more important in that than it is in Beyond, even, in my opinion.
Right, but
I don't know.
I'm just comparing two different characters.
But I feel like it was there because Simon Pegg, to me, is a good writer and has written good movies before, and I just felt like the studio probably felt the movie was too long, and a lot of it was just kind of cut out.
I think you gave your villain a reason, even though it didn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that was
make
cool.
sense. You
Sure.
gave your supporting
Sort of
alien character a reason. You gave Spock
Supporting character.
and you gave Kirk the Spock Kirk duo, and I mean,
And you
To a
connected your supporting alien character to Kirk with the whole father died to protect and kill and save the others thing, which was actually a really cool thing. Krishna, what did you think?
So I really liked it. I think I liked it a lot more than Arjuna did. So I was a little worried actually about halfway through the movie because I was like, oh man, this is cool. The action's amazing. The visual effects are amazing. Yorktown. How they set that up looked really cool. But I was a little worried. I was a little worried halfway through because I was like, oh, it's just another generic bad guy who wants to hurt the Federation. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. As soon as Uhura sees the recording, the recording, and at first I'm like, I don't quite get it because I'm seeing the first guy and he's looking by. I'm like, well, that's not Idris Elba because I knew Idris Elba was in the movie.
And
As
he's the
Kroll.
villain, right.
Yeah. So I already knew it was him. I was like, I don't know. But then they kept playing him. Oh, there's a tall dude in the back there who looks a little bit like him. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh snap, Kroll is a bit more interesting. And as soon as that happened, I was really happy. I was really happy with the movie overall because it was written in. Each little thing, there's like little pieces of this mystery that keep coming up, and I thought that was really cool.
it's a classic Star Trek episode.
Yeah, it really is.
The whole thing.
Yeah. It really is. It's like little pieces of this puzzle that are coming together, and I really liked it. And at the very end, especially like when they're playing Sabotage, which is a throwback to the first movie.
Beastie Boys.
That was
I'm sorry,
great.
you can't go wrong with the Beastie
It was
Boys.
great. And I was like, that is a climax. It's pretty good. That's a solid climax. But I was a little disappointed because I'm like, well, it's whatever. And I thought the movie was over at that point. But it kept going. I was like, oh.
I actually didn't like the climax either. The part where they're just battling.
All right, we've established that Arjuna doesn't like the movie.
But yeah, so I was like, it was okay. It was like, it's cool. I like the music. It's cool, and everyone's like, wait, what's going on here? But then, then it kept going a little bit, and I was like, it was gonna end up being like a punch up between Kirk and Kroll, which it did, but it was a little bit more because all of a sudden, Kroll looks like Idris Elba, not this alien,
and he's wearing
He's wearing his Starfleet uniform.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
one more thing. Too much hand to hand, not enough space.
Wait,
Anyway.
what?
Space.
So too much hand to hand, not enough space.
No space
stuff.
battles.
Have you not
I'm just-
watched the classic Star
Yeah,
Trek?
I have.
All right,
They
so
don't-
anyway,
Yeah, I know. The
But,
best ones in
you're
my
saying-
opinion have space.
But yeah, no, I really liked it. I guess my only thing with it would have been to see a little bit more of Spock. Funnily enough.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is so.
Really?
Yes. I feel like the whole emotional arc with Spock, it really hits it at the beginning, a tiny bit in the middle, and then a little bit at the end. And it's just, I feel like I see what they were trying to do, which is sort of a tribute. I would like to have seen it a little bit more. I feel I don't know how they would have done that. They would have to change it a little bit. That's my only complaint with it was a little bit more with Spock and old Spock, Ambassador Spock. I think that's his name. That character who time travels or is in the present from the. Sorry, Star Trek
all
fans,
good.
but you know what I'm saying.
Spock.
Just yes, Ambassador Spock.
Old Spock. I'll call him
Old Spock is fine too.
Yeah.
Old Spock.
I would like to have seen a little bit more with
Old
that
Spice?
emotional arc because it's really like a moment
Hair
here,
glove.
a moment there, and a moment there, but it's supposed to drive that whole character's motivation. I would like to have seen a little bit more with it. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I don't know how they would have done it. I would like to have seen a little bit more with Spock and that arc.
I do think the best part of the movie was Spock and Bones.
They had good dynamic.
They
Yeah,
really
they
did, and
did.
it was
They
nice to
worked
develop that relationship because I
Yeah.
don't think they've had the chance to do that yet.
Yeah.
For me, so I really didn't honestly watch that many trailers. As much as I loved the first one, that's almost as much as I just was about the second one, about Into Darkness. So for this one, I didn't want to get my hopes up. I did, again, go into it kind of like a little... Like,
Blind?
I tried to go blind.
Yeah.
I did go blind.
Yeah.
I tried to go very little baggage.
You should see a doctor
the
about
baggage,
that.
the baggage I did take in, the only thing I took in with me was the fact that I was expecting more of it than Into Darkness, primarily because of Simon Pegg, and because Simon Pegg wrote the movie, and I'm a fan, so I was anticipating a better movie than Into Darkness. I wasn't anticipating an awesome movie, just better than Into Darkness, which is not saying a lot. So I was very, very pleased. I really, really liked the movie. I had no idea that Idris Elba was in this movie.
Which is
I think
which
that's
is,
awesome
which is
that you
amazing.
did that.
So I didn't watch
the best way
anything.
to go into it.
I had no idea, and it was so awesome because like when Ahura kept looking at the screen, and then all of a sudden there's Idris Elba, and I was like, "That's Idris Elba! What the hell is he doing in this movie?"
He must have gone a walk-on part.
Yeah.
Wait, so
had
when did you
no
realize? When did you realize then that Idris Elba and Crawl were the same?
Oh, not the hell until she said until she looked and she was like, "Check out this," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was. I had no idea.
That was the moment
But it
too
was,
that I was like,
it was
this is
really
great.
good to, like that's the one thing, like with all of this stuff out there now, IMDb and everything and all these things, I really do look ahead and I don't, there's not a lot of, there are still surprises, but I don't mind reading spoilers and reading in like all of this stuff and all this speculation. I don't mind that. But this is the first time I think in a long time that I've seen a movie where I didn't read speculation, I didn't do anything. I didn't know that Idris Elba was even in it, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my god! It was kind of a really fun way to watch the movie.
Yeah, seriously.
But this was a really great, this was, considering the fail in my mind that was Into Darkness, this was a really great boost for this franchise and for this line of movies. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the plot. It really, like you said, it was like watching a giant episode of Star Trek. It was very classic sci-fi. It was very much good versus evil, peace versus war. I think you and I were talking about that after the movie. It was...
War.
It was...
Just gonna keep bringing that up.
Where were they?
So yeah, and then the USS Franklin, which was of the same class ship that the
USS Enterprise.
Oh, the
was it
uniforms too.
not the
I like that
Enterprise, was it? Oh, I like that they
one. The throwback, right?
that they had him wearing the like
Yeah.
old school
He just
like,
was wearing
bomber
Archer's
jackets and
uniform or
stuff.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that held back to the Archers time,
Right.
which was really cool.
So
Yeah,
think
I
we're
just
done
I
now.
was very happy. Yeah.
we're done now. I'm closing this out.
Okay.
End it. Hit stop. We're done.
No.
Well,
Oh.
so I will say.
Oh my god! Always with something else.
One more thing. So
you have literally 10 seconds. Go.
the surprise factor of Idris Elba being human and like being Idris Elba, they kind of messed up because they released a new trailer that reveals he is human.
And thank goodness we didn't
And
see
none
it.
of us
we didn't
thankfully
see it.
I didn't
saw
watch it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that would've
I
Again,
still think that
really kind of
having
cool.
that type of spoiler in a trailer,
I agree.
Bad idea.
it's
I
a
didn't
bad
watch it.
idea.
You're over revealing all your good
Yeah,
stuff. Stop doing that,
ruins
studio.
a really good point of the
Stop
movie. A good
doing
point.
that.
Watch it. It was really great.
Terminator, the other
So
Terminator movie. did
Maybe
that.
it's good then that Marvel didn't show us anything.
That's a
Maybe.
good point. That's a great point.
Anyway, thank you guys for sticking with us for
A very long
2
time.
hours.
Wow.
Yeah, we hit
the
Hour
longest
44.
ever.
Hour 44.
All right.
Hey.
This has
you.
been LuZoCast number 12. We'll be back again next week.
Next Sunday.
Next
At some
Sunday,
point.
4th. No, sorry.
We will announce it on our Twitter and Facebook.
When we'll be
what
back.
time we'll be back.
Yes. Please be sure to comment. Hit us up at Loser Productions on Twitter. You can check out our website loserproductions.com. This has been Arjuna, Krishna, Sarah, and myself, Ravi.
Like us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube.
And Twitter and Instagram and Vine. We have funny vines.
We do.
Sorry,
Well,
we
we
have
think-
a lot of stuff. We really think we're funny.
Yeah, seriously.
We're super funny.
We like looking at ourselves.
All right,
So,
no.
anyway.
Arjuna, please end this. Make it so number 2.
Goodbye.
Let's go do a shot.
Bye.
What?
Bye.